This is for punk lighting.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wake up, Rancho Cucamonga.
I was sitting in the comments. I was drinking gin and tonic. Heavy on lime. Yeah, babe, we're really that guy.
We're streaming.
Okay, we're all set.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to Friday, gang. And even though it's Friday, it won't be Hot Chick Friday. It will be Cool Effects Guy Friday.
It's Cool Effects Friday on the Jeff and Janki Show.
Good morning, people. We're
How you doing, muchacho?
Not bad, more than me. Coming to you from the center of the universe, Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Yeah, just an hour away from wherever you are.
Exactly. Hour away from anything cool. We're right here in Rancho Cucamonga.
Let's plug our sponsors and get this out of the way.
Exactly. Gosh, Jeff, when I'm really craving a good cold drink and perhaps a fine cigar, where do I go?
You go to the Upland Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange, right in downtown Upland by the Metrolink station. How could you miss it?
Where I can have a delicious wine or craft beer and
From anywhere in the world.
and watch the sun slowly set on the blue-tiled roof of IHOP in Little Upland, or is now IHOB.
Greg Gross, our employee of the month there at Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange, will.
And we're not saying that because you compass drinks, Greg.
He will post his ghetto sunset off the railroad track.
I love his ghetto sunset. Yeah, it's across the tracks from where this is. This is in the. I'm talking to our guest who I won't introduce yet until I introduce him. But you on the other side is the old sun-kissed. The old sun-kissed plant.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, by Hangar 18 Effects and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the most rundown part of Little Upland. So he posts ghetto sunset where you see the hobo with his stuff on his back.
But we got nice patio furniture when you watch live music on the weekends at Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange.
And you can listen to the sultry stylings of Eric Alagi.
Oh, God, I'm glad it's only once a month with that guy.
Hey, I'm plugging him by name because he's a friend.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's
The
plug
musical equivalent of jury duty.
Let's plug our other friend up the
Hey,
street.
Jeff, I want a New York bagel, and I'm trapped in Rancho Cucamonga. How the hell do I get one?
Oh, well, you got to get in your car or your
Drive to
public
New York?
transport.
That'll take $10,000.
Well, you don't have to do that. You could go right here in Rancho Cucamonga on the corner of Archibald and Foothill. It's right there. New York Bagel Company.
Jamil will appreciate you not forgetting where he is once.
He loves it when we come in. We are like celebrities when he treats us like gold when we go in there. And
Yeah, Jeff was so excited because when he came in, he said to the new girl, "Keep an eye on that guy."
Yeah. I get the blueberry bagel. I'm creature of habit. I love the blueberry bagel. There's many to choose from.
Everything bagel or die, baby.
Oh, the everything bagel with that delicious cream cheese. Oh, boy.
A smear of cream cheese.
And the New York bagels,
Hang on, what's it next to?
it's right next to Four Color Comics.
So look at the badly painted superheroes and then walk around
and then go right up there. But you know what? A New York bagel's not a New York bagel
Unless it is made with Jamil's own loving hands with New York water.
New York water imported from Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, New York. It's also the same water that turned all those homeless guys into chud.
Yeah. Those cannibalistic underground.
Humanoid.
Cannibalistic humanoid underdoor.
How many times do I have to tell you? Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
That's right.
Or what, Carlos?
That's a lot to chew right there.
Oh my God, we've got a stranger's voice on the microphone.
A handsome stranger's voice.
Let's introduce this guy.
You're right. I was going to say the Inland Empire has answered Rick Baker. No pressure.
I don't know about that. That's big shoes to fill there.
We've got the great Carlos Velarde of Phantom Zone Effects,
Hello.
EFX.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm still waking up because I went and saw The Incredibles last
did you?
night.
You went to two?
Yeah, I went to the. It's almost a midnight show and it was 11:30, so I'm a little still half asleep.
We're glad you've been in a coma for Infinity
Oh, yeah,
War.
no
That thing
problem.
is 3 hours.
Oh, I know.
From what I heard, Carlos, is that the people have seen it last night. I saw it posted. They enjoyed it more than the first one.
I think so too. It was really, really funny. They even did a whole apology in the beginning, like with all the actors saying, "Sorry it took so long," but
That's great.
But it goes, believe me, you guys are gonna love it. And sure enough, it was great.
I was impressed with their toys that they have out.
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, they got the one where the girl it's like, remember the Evel Knievel stunt cycles?
Oh yeah.
You wind up. Well, they
And it
got
takes off.
Mrs. Incredible, and her bike sticks out and her arms stretch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
50, they're brand new, but they're 50% off at the local closing Toys R Us.
Yes.
Aren't they pretty much all closed already or no?
no.
But the prices are jacked up at the Disney store.
Oh,
Oh, is
yeah.
Disney? Is
Disney
Disney?
store selling their toys.
Well, because Disney,
Well,
is
it
not,
is Disney owned, so.
but they're not going out. Disney store is not going out of business.
No.
Oh, hell
Toys R Us
no.
is.
No.
Oh no!
So you-
I don't think they can go out of business. All these hit movies, one right after
Too
the
big
other.
to fail.
Right? It was a Black Panther first, and then what's called
Infinity
Infinity
War?
War.
No, don't pretend you don't know the name of it.
Well, I
Infinity
just-
War,
just
Mr.
trying to remember,
DC
trying to
Comics guy. My company's named after Superman's Ghost Dimension.
Yeah.
And I dress as the Nicholson Joker at conventions, which is
Yep.
very cool.
That's where,
Thank you.
when Pat and I were at the convention, that was you.
That was me.
I saw it when
You
I
look amazing. You did the whole Nicholson Nick Dudman mouth from
Yeah,
the
like the whole the over exaggerated smile.
And at one of your earlier shows, you used to do the bullet hole. I don't think you do the bullet hole anymore,
No,
do you?
no, I haven't never done that one.
Oh, you never
Actually,
did the
no.
bullet hole? Because you did the smeary art painted Joker,
Right,
which is
I did
really-
the art
That's
one.
rare, yeah.
And I also did the mime when he's just one
Yeah,
little
the
scene.
mime with the, I like that.
Yeah.
The makeup on that was really
That was
good.
fun.
With this pen.
Yes, exactly. And I always walked around with a little pen too.
Well, were you really? Wow.
So let's get back to your origin. How did you get started and all
Yeah,
this?
give us your superhero origin story,
Oh
Carlos.
my goodness! Working what I was doing, it's really funny. It's actually he's gonna be coming in here too. So him and we were in a band together, and
That's right, you play guitar.
Yes, I play guitar.
Is that Nerd Robot?
No, actually, this band was a heavy metal band called Dire.
Dire.
Yeah, so we've been around for a while.
Dude, I remember.
Do you remember?
We ran sound for you guys a few
Holy
years ago.
crap!
I was
It
with.
went full circle right now.
Remember
Wait,
Jeff
wait, wait, say thank
Burkhardt,
you,
the
Carlos.
sound guy.
Yes.
Jeff Burkhardt, the sound guy, and we were the cable plugging in the monitors, and he's a great mixer man.
Yeah, yeah.
He makes everybody sound great. I remember.
Oh, you say he's
them
not
plug-
good? It makes everybody sound great.
No, he makes everybody sound great. He does. He makes every band.
I look who you're talking about.
Ivan! Hey, Ivan, grab a donut.
That's
Grab a donut.
That's him. That's the guitar player.
Well, no, I'm the guitar player. He's a singer.
He was the singer. That's
Yeah.
right.
Jeff said, that's him. That's the guy who ripped off my
I
band.
was working sound one night. I was
He worked with Dire, man.
Put on your headphones, brother, and speak right here. Speaking to the
we had
band.
the
it's
PA
a
one
soundbite.
night with you guys, man.
Hey, what's up?
He worked on your vocals, man.
He did. He tried to save you, Ivan.
And he's doing it again.
Yay.
This time, not so much screaming.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wow. Is that an Elvira Haunted Hills shirt or?
Oh, it's a. Oh, my girlfriend got me this shirt. It's a. Yeah.
That mic check.
The Monster Hits.
Yeah, because one of the great things about Elvira, she self-financed one of her last movies.
Oh,
And
did
then-
she?
Oh, yeah, the Haunted Hills, which didn't do
Okay.
well, unfortunately, you
Yeah.
know. But she got a great pull quote for Stan Lee on the poster.
Wow.
Stan Lee said, "The date movie for guys who can't get a date," which is hilarious.
I'm surprised I haven't seen it then.
Well, listen, smartass, we are. I'm hosting the Hollywood Horror Fest, which is getting an award.
Oh, awesome.
Her and the director are coming, and we're going to have a screening, the first screening in like 20 years.
Oh,
of it.
shit, I'm there.
Yeah, there we go. And we're doing a Saturday night Night of the Demons.
Oh,
which is-
yeah. That's
I
that's
heard
one
that,
I'm
yeah.
really excited for.
You guys, it's
Yeah, I'm
it's-
excited for that one.
And we're at the Mayflower Club, which looks like the Hull House from the movie. You know what I mean? A little
Yeah.
bit. It's this British expatriates club. And Steve friggin' Johnson is going to be on the panel.
Wow.
Steve Johnson went on to win the Oscars, but
Yeah.
started out with Night of the Demons. Actually, was once married to Scream Queen of the classic Scream Queen Linnea Quigley.
Yep.
And boy, oh boy,
She's so awesome.
she is, isn't she?
Yeah, she's so great.
She won't be on the panel, but Kathy Podwell, the lead, Linnea's in Florida. You know, we're looking to see if we can get her and maybe Jill Terashita. But everyone else on the panel is definitely coming, including Steve Johnson.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Night of the Demons is a great movie. Kevin Tenney's amazing. You know what I mean? It's one of those movies. You look at it. You look at a horror movie of that era that is so loaded with gore and nudity. There's like a gasp every 5 minutes.
Everything we want in a horror movie, man.
Yeah, especially with Leanna's part, right? She's just staring in the mirror with like a little lipstick
On her
going around
boob,
her-
on her nipple.
Yeah, on her nipple, right? And then it just goes, and then she sticks the lipstick in her nipple. It's weird.
And but that was one of the most talked about scenes for the longest time because nobody did that. I mean, it was surreal,
it's so weird,
and dreamlike, and I mean, and Podwell's awesome. He dressed the lead girl like Alice in Wonderland from the Disney version.
Yeah.
You know. By the way, Carlos, Jeff and I accidentally cut you off. Give us your review of Incredibles 2.
Oh, I actually really did like it. I laughed my ass off. There's a lot of funny scenes, and then I can understand why they. Of course, they took like what 12 years, right? Or 14?
Yeah,
12 or 14. Well, it was in double digits already. So, but they how I said they apologized in the beginning, but
2002, right? 16 years, I think.
No, I think it was less than 16. I don't know exactly. I think it's about 2014. I think
because it was after.
2004.
It was after 9/11 because the mother clearly in the original film, Mrs. Incredible. Tells her children there's people who want to hurt. Remember when she wants them to take care?
Yeah.
She gives them this 9/11 speech where there's people that are going to hurt you. You don't know, blah, blah, blah. And it makes your arm hairs raise because she wants to protect them as they're coming into the island.
Right.
Right.
But I could see like everybody was like, well, why don't they just pick up like 12 or 13 years later? They're much older, but if you
What's
see
the
it,
fun in that?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense though because the whole movie was pretty much you could see that. It was centered around Jack the little baby. You know? That's the big star of the film.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he was so funny. He just like can control his powers, and then they're trying to figure out how to control him the same way to help out the team. It's actually really good.
Is Stan Lee in it?
I didn't see Stan Lee in it.
Because I know Stan Lee is in the Teen Titans cartoon. You know, and he's joking in the Teen Titans cartoon about how he's trying to appear in every comic book movie. And,
well, what is funny is that during the trailers they did have the Teen Titans movie trailer.
Nicolas Cage is Superman,
dude. He finally gets to play Superman.
Isn't that terrible? After his ex-wife took his entire collection.
It was so funny. I laughed my ass off too on that trailer. I was like, I got to see this film. It is so funny.
Yeah, the Deadpool stuff alone, but they acknowledge that Deathstroke was ripped off for Deadpool.
I think I was one of the loudest ones that laughed for that part.
I mean, that's totally fan service nerddom right there.
Oh yeah, that's great. But I had a blast watching it.
You loved it.
Yes, I'll definitely. I'll see it again.
Wow. Okay. Good man. How many movies this year have you seen again?
I saw a lot. I seen Infinity Wars like maybe 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
if you say you saw Solo twice, I'm going to cut your mic and throw you out of the studio.
Actually, I saw Solo 3 times.
Hey, how about the Disneyland has the Infinity Gauntlet sippy cups? With the
that looks so cool. I saw a couple of my friends get that.
Yeah.
I wanted that. I was like,
and they sell out like that, and they go, oh, now they're playing it like, okay, let's make everybody want it really bad. Let's like cut off a run.
It seems like they always do
and
that.
then run it another series.
Yeah.
Make another run next month or something.
Like the one that I wanted really bad is when they had the little tiki cups of the Haunted Mansion.
Wow.
They had that, and I was like, you can't find those now.
They know you want. I mean, Disney collectors. My brother and Robin, my brother and his wife are total Disney fans, and I don't get it. When I moved here as a kid, I was. When they find out when your friends and family from out of state find out you're in Southern California, the first 3 years here were just people dropping in.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I took so many cousins and friends on Disney runs. To this day, I'm bored with Disney. You know what I mean? I like Universal. I like Universal.
I love Universal. I just went there for my birthday.
Oh, did you? Good man. Yeah. Was it free on your birthday? Or
no, well, I have the season pass.
You could get a gun at Catalina for free.
Really?
Oh yeah, on your birthday it's free.
Oh, I can't rewind this clock now. Consider if it's my birthday week, then I just passed.
I just had my birthday too, so I missed out on it too.
Mine's coming up, so I know what I'm doing.
Go to
July, right?
What is it to get into?
August.
Oh, good. So
Now you buy the
Comic-Con?
ticket. The pass is good for 1 year, one price. What is
Oh
it?
yeah, for Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it's like a little flex pay, so it actually really helps out even more because I pay like I don't know like $13 a month.
You're making payments on
Yeah.
you. Is it $100 or more?
There's different tiers. So I think there's one that's like with no blackout dates for like more a couple $100.
Yeah, it's like 2, almost 3.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll just take the $100 one.
Yeah, it's not bad. And yeah, I think I'm probably like within that style. I forgot exactly which tier I'm at, but I got very little blackout dates. And even if you go on a blackout date, they just charge you like $20 to get in, which isn't bad. You know,
That's good.
yeah.
What they need to change there is the prices for the parking. My goodness.
Parking went up though.
Listen,
I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
parking went up.
This is what those rats did. The old trick to Universal used to be you would park in the Metrolink parking.
Oh, I know.
And grab
Yeah.
the shuttle uphill.
Right.
And those bastards, I'm sure Universal is behind this.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure Metrolink now has parking ticket authorities
Yep.
cruising up and down to make sure you
they're all down there, down
Oh,
the
yeah.
hill and everything.
Yeah.
You could park there all night. I mean, like you would do a press screening. You would get into the park. You know what I mean? I mean, it'd be a full day. Now you can't. Now,
They got spies.
oh,
Yeah,
they've
they
got
got smart
spotters.
about it.
Yeah,
Conspiracy, man.
it kind of is. Now we're on your superhero origin story, Carlos.
Yeah.
When did Carlos Velarde of Phantom Zone Effects
And Ivan, Phantom Zone Effect.
Ivan the Terrible from Phantom
Ivan
Zone
the
Effects.
So yeah, like what I was saying is that Ivan and I were in a band together, and then
Dyer.
Yeah, Dyer.
I remember
And,
the flyers, man.
Yeah, it was really good IE metal bands at the time when we were going out and doing
Oh yeah,
stuff.
there was like it was during the time where like even like on a Wednesday night there would be a kick-ass show.
Oh yeah,
It was Dyer or Sammy Hagar.
Can't Drive 55. But
Is that when Cromwell? Did you guys ever play with Cromwell?
that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
They were a band around that time. Dogface Gods and
Yeah, I remember hearing that one.
yeah.
Dog Space guys.
Yeah.
What about the Skeletons, boys?
Skeletons? No, that sounds like
We just made that up.
Ska band, no, real.
It sounds like a rockabilly band or something.
Yeah, they were ska.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Close enough.
But you know the IE club scene, they would put one hard metal band with a ska band.
So you
Luckily
guys
we
were in
didn't
this
get that.
band. You guys were in this band.
Right.
Dyer, you guys
Dyer.
were playing around. Then what happened to say, hey man, do you do special? Do you like horror
the
movies?
thing is, Ivan and I we bonded really quickly because he came in a little later in the band. We were both our loves for comics and horror movies, so we were hanging out a lot. And then so like towards I was about to turn 30, and I don't even know if I told you that I was thinking about leaving. Maybe
No, you didn't tell me about that.
Yeah.
But like,
I was contemplating.
Yeah, you
for
were
a while.
contemplating, and I remember like you just one day like hey man, I think I'm gonna pack it in.
Yeah.
And focus more on a career,
Right.
Doing special effects, and like you want to get other stuff going.
Yeah, so I told Ivan that, and Ivan was really interested in too. He's like, "Well, that's something that I wanted to really do too." I was like, "All right, well, as soon as because I wanted to actually work on my Chevelle. I have a '72 Chevelle. Wanted to get that finished and then get that out of the way. Then I could focus on going maybe to school for effects and stuff like that." So I said, "Well, once I'm ready to do the effect stuff, maybe you and I could get together and do something, and form something." And what happened is that totally fate walked right in. I guess like not even a couple months later, I ran into this director that does independent films, and he was going to meet up with Eric Fox from
What's his name?
his name
Was it John or
no it was I forgot his name.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, that's
So,
how long ago it was.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Just but really like a low budget movie, like ghetto budget stuff.
Yeah. But he had good connections, and so he actually invited us to do like this kind of like an on-screen thing. We would be right on the front of the camera and say, "Hey, my name is Carlos, and I do special effects makeup." And Ivan was with me at the time. We did the same thing, and not really saying it. We kind of just faked it till we made it. We just said, "Yeah, we do it."
Oh, nicely done, boys.
So we just said, "Yeah, we're effects artists. We could do it."
Yeah, we can do this. You
Yeah.
want a severed head? Sure. why not?
Yeah. So he actually put us in this small little film, and they had us do the effects, and we were just like, all right, let's see what we could do. Just use the old go-to scar wax.
Wow.
Star wax.
Bring out our old crumbling copy of Dick Smith making monsters.
Yeah, just like pulling pages from there. Like,
Yeah.
it was really like just all on-set build-up stuff.
Yeah. And we're like, hey,
I love that.
This actually looks really good, But it was funny because, like, we just faded, it actually looked decent for not knowing what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
What movie was it? Can we see it on
Oh,
Netflix?
it was just it was something
for
small.
a film competition, and
Yeah.
it was like it was going on for October. It was like people would make a 3-minute horror movie, and it was like a contest hosted by Elvira. So
Really? Hence the shirt.
Yeah. And he filmed it and he sent it in. We never got to see it.
Yeah, we never see what the finished product was, but that happens a lot though. A lot, especially those independent films. But well, anyways, so that was like our first gig, pretty much, that we did together.
I would say so.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, we're gonna be a team, blah blah blah. And then that same guy, he got me to go to meet up with Eric because he's going to buy some props from Eric.
Eric Fox and Morgan
Yes.
Effects, who also did
Correct.
one of the Sharknadoes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
he was on that with that too.
I worked on that one.
You worked on that.
Yeah, I was part of Morbix Effects until 2000 and let's see, we're in 18 right now, so like
16?
2016. Yeah.
What's funny is when you walked in, Ivan, Carlos looks pretty dapper. His hair is short. He's wearing a button shirt. You look like the classic Hollywood effects guy. You look like Rob Bottin circa 1980.
Right? Just like walking in and then
Black horror t-shirt, long hair, beard. I mean, I don't know why Carlos is trying to change the paradigm over here. He's got this dapper.
Even when I was in the metal band, I had short hair,
He still looked. He was the spiffiest one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's rocking the Jack Pierce mustache and all this, and you look like vintage Rob Bottin,
But, and I
Covino.
just got off doing a film right now. We just wrapped yesterday.
Oh, what film?
I can't really say much, but it was for the production was called Screen Magic Films. The director and producer was Rick Jenkins, and basically it's like a retelling of the Frankenstein story.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we did these monster makeups, but to make them look more like cyborgish. Because it's up to date.
Every time they want to do Frankenstein modern, they always rip off RoboCop. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and it was funny too because like I built this metal arm for him, and then like this prosthetic and with an actual light in there that lit up, and it was pretty awesome. And the great thing too, our model we had, the guy was 6'9", barefoot, but when he puts his boots on,
That's you right there.
Yes.
when he puts his boots on, the guy is 6'10", 6'11".
Wow.
So he played the monster, and he was pretty jacked up too. So it was really awesome just to see him in full makeup and with his wardrobe and everything. Just this guy really did play the part.
Ah, cool.
It's awesome.
Wow. And if you're looking for a cool retelling of Frankenstein, there's this cool 80s Canadian movie. Pam Grier, it's called The Retaliator. It's you used to run on late night TV in the 90s, you know what I mean? But Stan Winston did the effects, and it's just an amazing. But it was Stan Winston post Terminator, pre Jurassic Park, and it just kind of knocked out this amazing no budget. The cyborg looks amazing. It doesn't look like
Stan
Terminator
Winston for you.
Yeah, you remember if you wanted apes or werewolves, you got Rick Baker.
Yes.
And if you wanted robots or dinosaurs, you'd go with Winston.
And if you
That's
just
perfect.
want like absolute like gore fest, you just went to either Robotine or what's the other dude's name?
Savini.
Savini. Yeah, that you have a problem with.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a
Oh.
fan of Savini.
Well, actually, Savini, I interviewed him, but he was nice to me. But as my brother pointed out, you're the press. He has to be nice to you.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of people had bad
I had
experiences
a bad
with him.
experience with them, and
That bums me out.
And I came to him as a fan. This was before I started doing FX makeup, and I came to him as a fan, and he was just being a total dick with me. And I was like, you know what, screw you. Then I'll remember that, and I did.
No, that bums me out. I've heard a lot of stories like that, and it's like it's like my mom used to say. It takes just as much time to be nice as not nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess that's just his. People want an excuse to saying, "Oh, that's just his," kind of New Yorker style talk.
No, it's just,
but he's from Philly.
Said Carlos, who's 100% nut binner.
Yeah.
So you guys went to Phantom Zone before you founded Phantom Zone. You guys worked for Eric Fox,
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I met up with the Eric Fox when he got this. The friend that's the director got this prop, and then I asked Eric. I was like, "Hey, I'm really interested in doing special effects makeup. I just don't know where to start. Have you ever thought about maybe doing some classes?" And he was like, "Well, matter of fact, at the time too, he was still on Face Off. He was just done filming." Wow. And he's like, "Well, yeah, because actually, I'm planning to get an actual work studio, and then once I get that studio, then I'm gonna start offering classes." And I was like, "All right, well, cool. You know, like I'm definitely down to be one of your students." And then I would say maybe about a week later, he contacted that guy that I went with, the director, and he said, "Hey, Eric Fox wants to talk to you. Here's his number." I was like, "Okay, cool." So then I gave him a call that day, and Eric said, "Hey, I was thinking about your offer, or your question about doing the school." And goes, "What if I could do this for you right now, and you come to my garage where he had his that was his shop, because that's where we all
was
started
that the
off
place
at,
in
was the
Riverside?
garage.
Because that's where I went. Yeah,
he's always been
beautiful.
pretty much based out of Riverside.
I love that. I love that you guys are all local. You know.
Yeah. So he was in his garage, and that's where we all pretty much start off with. is in the garage.
We started in just
Yeah.
a small, like, what, 700 square foot little garage.
Yeah, detached garage from the house. So
Wow.
we started off there, and he he asked me about, if you want to do classes, and I was like, yeah, and he goes, well, actually I have a friend that might be interested too, if you want me to bring up. And he's like, yeah, great. So I contacted Ivan right away. So, hey, Eric Fox from Face Off wants to do this class for this X amount of money for this many weeks, and you down? And Ivan, sure enough, yeah, let's do it. And then I told my sister, and she was like, yeah, I'd love to do that too. So I got
Your
my
sister does
sister.
effects too?
She was there for a bit. She learned a little bit, but she never continued with it, like how Ivan and I got really passionate about it.
What's her name?
Cynthia.
Okay, cool.
And then we met somebody else that was part of the same director that came and met up with Eric there to do. It was like this behind the scenes stuff. Like they're just like so somehow like but her name was RC.
RC.
Remember RC? So like she met Eric through the same guy that I knew, and so she was like, "Well, I want to try FX too." So then he ended up having a small little four person class,
A full crew.
yeah. So we're all inside the little place, and he started really liking how Ivan and I and RC and Cynthia were doing with this stuff, and he's like, "Hey, well, once I get my shop, you guys want to come in as interns, and we'll learn even more from there." And sure enough, like.
Cool.
We did the merger, because within a couple months he ended up finding the place, and we helped him move and everything like that. And then
The joyful work of the intern.
yeah, right. So then so we all stayed except for my sister. She left in July.
Did she burn out in effects, or
What's that?
did Cynthia burn out on doing effects?
No, I don't think it was just her passion too much, because she's a very good artist. But she just learned and was like, okay. Yeah, she had some her reasons why she wanted to leave, and
Tourist.
yeah, she had her reasons why she wanted to leave at the time, and then that's the same reasons that she left. It was kind of one of the main reasons why I decided to leave and wanted to start doing what Ivan and I first wanted to do, start our own FX company.
What made you come up with the title?
Ivan and I were together, and we're like, what do you think will sound cool? So, of course, Ivan and I are big comic book fans, and we're like, hey, Phantom Zone from Superman sounds like,
Or like it works on the third level, and it works kind of like,
on the horror side.
Yeah.
And then what's cool is that if you see like on our logo,
The square
it
that
has
they
a
get
square.
stuck in.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
Jack O'Halloran, Non, has been a guest on this show. As has Jeff East, the young Superman.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, we
It's a great
came up with
logo. Who designed that?
that. I came up with the initial portion to do the square, and then Ivan came up and drew this like little phantom like creature kind of mascot.
Yeah, it's like just like a
It looks almost like Death, but he has
pretty
like this
much.
cool like
There's
little
this
phantom.
hooded spectral character that
Yeah.
sits above the P.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and the font, I always thought like it would look really cool, like that what do they call it? The stencil, military stencil.
Yeah, I've always loved that.
And put it in italic form, and there you go, like Phantom Zone.
Yeah, and then we were going to get a banner, so I sent it to a person that does it, banner and stuff like that. So she cleaned it up and made everything all proper, and now we got our hard logo.
Yeah.
Now, Carlos, did you work with Ivan on was that Sharknado 4?
No, actually, I was already gone from Morbex. I left in September, I think it was.
Yeah.
I left. It was right after we did.
For like 4 years.
Yeah, like I left right after they're watching.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
After we did that.
The They're Watching project, that
broke a lot of people. I think.
What do you mean it was just so hard?
Because we also had other interns coming in, and all that, and like people from cinema and makeup school, and like they all just got like a crash course on like what being an effects artist really is.
By the way, that's how you do it. All night long, bad coffee.
Yeah, that's how it was. Like we were just drinking coffee without sugar or cream. So it was like, wow, we're doing.
Yeah, we're pulling all nighters.
You just
sleeping in our cars.
Yeah.
People were taking showers outside with the hose.
You know what? I did that when I did the 420. I was a demon for them. Yeah.
The art jam. Right?
Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, they have a hose going at 6 a.m. and all that. I mean, God bless him, though. They sent the intern for Del Taco at just the right time. When I was starting the flag, then all the Del Taco showed up, and it's like, okay, second wind.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because the first 4 hours was like Ivan Drago was punching your brains in,
So, yeah, I ended up leaving in September right after that gig. And then all of a sudden, kind of like destiny, I guess. So I kind of knocked on my door at the same time. I got a message from somebody that's was a fan of mine. I was doing cosplay at the time, and I still
you do that amazing Nicholson Joker.
Thank you. I think at the time I haven't even done Nicholson Joker yet. I was just doing the Heath Ledger style Joker.
Oh, screw that!
So I did that one because everybody starts off that way first, I guess.
Well, they always do the Itchy the Killer style Joker,
right.
which is cool. But if you look at the classic Nick Dudman Joker, I mean, with the mouth, you did that thing with the mouth, Carlos, which is most people it's weird because now the Nicholson Joker is now what they call him, the new old Joker.
Yeah, classic Joker.
He's like a classic Joker. He's like Cesar Romero now to the modern audience.
Yeah,
that's the staple right there. What you go off of. That's where you start from.
Because, I mean, when that one came out, you'd still see the occasional Cesar Romero Joker on the convention circuit. And now it's...
So I got this call, a message saying that, hey, MTV's doing this like this type of thing. It's called I want to be a beauty queen or obscure beauty queen type of thing. And so the premise was this girl wants to be made up as a zombie, but it's a beauty queen zombie.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, so you're
gorgeous zombie.
Yeah. So like are you interested to do the makeup on this girl? And I was like, sure. So I had to be a part of this MTV, My So-Called Life, or what is it called? I think that's what's called, right? My so-called life. I think it is. Real life. Yeah, because Ivan was still working with Eric, so I just barely left and got this message in late September because it was supposed to be around October, and so I accepted, and I was like, but I was like scared out of my ass because I was like, okay, I haven't been. I was only working with Eric for maybe
3 months, 4 months,
maybe a little bit longer, because I started in March and left in September.
Okay, like half a year.
Yeah. So then after that, I was like, shoot, man, I don't know what to do. I've never done anything on my own before. So I was like, yeah, I could do it. Like I fake it till you make it sometimes, So yeah, I'll do it.
This is my make and break moment.
Exactly. So I accepted it. I was on MTV and they showed me doing a live cast on her and then doing all the makeup on her and everything like that. And it came out pretty decent for being my first time doing everything by myself. And then from there, I just started doing other jobs here and there, like nothing really too consistent because lots of times the filming is during the week, and I actually have a job that I have to go to from Monday through Thursday.
Wow, which is why we got you on Friday, Hot Chick Friday.
Yes, exactly. And so and then a couple of years passed. Ivan and I we're still great friends. So I was like, hey, so I was seeing all his progress that he was doing with Eric, and he was doing a lot of cool stuff, learning a lot of cool stuff. And then I went on my side. I was like, well, I saw I met up with Tim Gore, and I was like, oh well, Tim Gore is a great effects artist. Let me pay for this class, and I'll learn some cool tricks. And so yeah, definitely I learned some really great painting tricks. And then came around, was like, what, I'm gonna pay for Stan Winston school. So I paid for the Stan Winston online school and started learning different things from there. And while Ivan was still learning a lot of the other stuff too, I was learning the other side of some of the stuff too. So then it was around, when was it when you finally gave me back a call? It was
Tim Gore is cool.
Yeah, Tim Gore is great.
He's the guy in Hellboy. Oh,
yep.
You're ugly.
Man, you're ugly. But you gave me like a call, like, what was it? It was about 2 years ago when we decided this.
Oh, yeah. Just like gave you a call because I was just like.
Yeah. He was getting pretty tired with doing some stuff.
After Sharknado 3, you sound like you burned out.
I think that's what probably broke you,
That's what really like pushed me over because Sharknado 3, I didn't make any money on it. Like, and a lot of people that were involved and so many hours put into it and like going on set and then just being there at the shop for like 2 weeks straight, not going home.
Showering at the shop.
Problems with the girl and, like, where are you, when are you coming home? But yeah, just all that on top. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know if I think like my time here is done.
By the way, congratulations. When you're hitting your job, you're a real effects guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate everything that Eric.
Oh yeah, same here.
No, Eric Fox is cool. You know what I mean? I mean, I love that you guys and him are IE.
Yeah.
We don't have. There's very few. There was a really great effects house. Darlene Schlega was running in Ontario.
Oh,
and she was teaching effects, but. It just thinks she got squeezed out, whatever happened, you know what I mean? She had to take a gig or something. And it's just there aren't enough out here in the IE. That's why I love that you guys and Eric exist, more effects exist.
Yeah, and us being in the IE, it is a bit of a challenge because most of the jobs are out in LA.
Burbank.
Right, you're beyond the 30-mile zone and all that.
Yeah, but in being in the IE, we're like in the middle. Like there's LA, there's San Diego, there's Vegas, and we get jobs all over the spectrum. So like, okay, it's really not that bad for us, When you really just make the effort, it ain't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But people forget that the two of the greatest all-time makeup artists, Rick Baker and Rob Bottin, from Covina.
Right.
Yeah.
Rob's from Azusa. And I learned the hard way that Rick is from Covina because I ran into him. And I go, oh, you're from West Covina. Covina. And I realized that Covina looks upon West Covina as like Virginia looks at West Virginia.
Yeah. A subsidiary. We
And
saw Rob Bottin's shop. You said, no, it's right next to that thrift store.
Yeah, Rob bought where my car... Rob bought where my car... My first car passed the... It's Smog Check in Azusa.
Right next door.
Yeah. And that's how I remembered it. So when I was going to do a bank commercial for Rob Bottin, and he ended up quitting the commercial.
Oh, wow.
But when he was going to do it, I was going to be my brother and I were going to be Neanderthals for him. So he brought us down to Azusa, gave us a guided tour where he was going to put everything. And I've talked to Rob Bottin in a couple sets before, but the amazing thing about that guy is if you catch him in the right mood, he'll tell you everything. All the great stories. He told me this great story about doing Star Wars. And he said one of the PAs, he was mad because he said on Star Wars, this is a story he told me. And he goes, this little PA comes up to him and he goes, what's wrong? And he goes, that dumbass director is putting all the crappy monsters up front, the stuff we knocked out in a hurry. He's burying all the stuff we took our time with, the stuff that's meant to be camera ready.
Oh, man.
And
gotta say something.
And the guy put his hands in his pockets and go, okay. And just wandered away. And then he said, two PAs came up frantically and said, what did George say to you? And that's how Rob Bottin met George Lucas.
Wow, that's a cool thing, though. You gotta say something like that. If you put all that hard work, like, why put the crappy ones in the front, switch them around?
Yeah, it
makes no sense.
It was driving him and Baker crazy, apparently, is what Bottin said, because he said they grabbed every one of their friends and said, if any creature you haven't used in a movie, bring it on down, we'll put it in, like the fins and all that. And what's heartbreaking is that was a 70s movie, so it was all this hippie-ish, let's all bond and help each other out. And now every one of those things is owned by Lucasfilm and became an action figure, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you, the guys who knocked it out in the garage to help Rob and Rick out didn't get any money from that, you know?
I spent so many hours making this.
Yeah.
And I got nothing.
Congratulations. George Lucas created your hardest work.
But yeah, I guess going back to Ivan called me up. It's like, hey, I want to start my own thing. He goes, would you be interested? And I was like, well, yeah. From the day one, it was always you and I, you know. So let's go back into it and let's do it. And so we met up and came up with Phantom Zone Effects.
Ivan, you're my number one guy.
I got to call you guys. I need your help because I need to get a cast of my face.
Okay.
I've done it to all my friends. But
He's scaring children.
I've never had anybody I could train to do my own. I mean, I got the alginate and
Awesome.
He's not been able to
I'm
find...
really good with teeth. Remember my teeth I've done?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah.
dental alginate.
And plus, Jeff can't get anyone to do his life cast because he's so damn...
Hey, remember when I had my teeth were so good? Remember I did Dexter Dork at the convention?
Jeff sculpted himself. The first conventions I met him on, he sculpted himself nerd teeth. And then he would put on glasses and wear an oversized Star Trek shirt.
Nice.
And he looked like a real dork. And he would go up and he would bother the guests. He would bother Harlan Ellison or something. You're my favorite sci-fi writer. And knowing Harlan Ellison does not want to be called a sci-fi writer.
I overheard somebody say, "Don't talk to him. He won't leave."
Yes.
Don't talk to him now. Here he comes. Just. How much are these comics, man?
Yeah. And he would touch all the comics and that's a lot of money.
I used to be a dental tech here in
nice.
Montclair.
Oh, awesome.
And that's how I got started in mold making and molding faces. I would be doing these goofy teeth and monster teeth, you know. And,
Yeah.
And that was one of our pranks that I used to do at conventions.
He would literally go up. The guys at the convention you're not supposed to talk to because they're so ill-tempered, Frank Miller and stuff. He would go up and nerd out in front of them as his in joke. It was very meta.
Like, what a way to just make them feel just awkward. Like, it's one of those fans, huh?
Yeah, you know. And let me ask, Ivan, and you too, Carlos, what's the movie that did it for you? What turned you guys into effects guys? There's always a horror movie.
I think I know which one his is.
Well, mine split between The Thing and Terminator 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like those movies just because I think I was like 5 years old when I saw The Thing. My dad let me watch it because one thing how my dad was like he loves sci-fi movies, but he hates slasher movies because he always thinks they're stupid. But he's all, but if it's a monster movie, it makes more sense. Mm-hmm. So one night he was in the living room watching The Thing. He's like, "Hey, come watch it with me," and I just happened to walk in on the part where it was the.
That's in the dog.
The dog.
That's
scene.
one of mine. Is that one of your favorite? What's your favorite monster from
That's the
morphine scene from
the scene where the defibrillator scene.
Yeah,
Oh, the defibrillator?
That's my favorite too.
That's my favorite part right there because like just so
It's
many.
so unexpected.
It makes you jump out of your seat when you hear that scream, the hot needle, and then you're going.
Yeah, the blood test. The blood test is amazing.
Yeah,
and then all that shit just starts.
Yeah.
And all the tentacles, and that freaks people out, man.
Oh yeah.
By the way, he was 20 or 21 when he did that.
I think
Palpatine.
he was like 21. Yeah.
Was he that young?
You know,
Wow, I had no idea.
And those effects still hold up from 1982, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, physical effects, man.
36 years.
Yeah. And by the way, if you look, there's an alternate cut of that where the camera is above when you see the hands get bit off. And that one's also jumpy, too, where the mouth suddenly appears, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So your dad was watching. Did you just like thrive on that stuff? Say yeah, or were you going in shock?
Well, see, being that little and seeing stuff like that, you believe it because you're like, how'd they do this? And then also being a big fan of like sci-fi movies, seeing like Total Recall, Terminator 2, and seeing
Which, by the way, shot partially in Fontana. The whole last 20 minutes of Terminator 2.
the steel mill.
Kaiser Steel, yeah. Also where they shot The Running Man and Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, which is also known as Freddy's Gay Cruise.
And Rollerblade Warriors.
Rollerblade, and Hell Comes to Frogtown. 1.
Wow.
So continue.
Yes.
Yeah, but just seeing those movies and like seeing like Arnold Schwarzenegger with that Terminator makeup on, where half his face is blown off.
That left an
It's
impression.
like you believe it. I believe
Yeah,
it.
that part always got me too. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was like, how'd they do that? How'd they make it look so real?
And it looked so chintzy in person. When you saw him in the makeup, it looked so chintzy.
he was a puppet.
Well, not always, but not always a puppet. When you saw him with the red eye, it just looked chintzy.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I was like, where do they make the skin out? I'm like, what is it, dough or something? I had no idea when I was little. But what I also loved too was like when we bought the movies on VHS, they would come with the behind the scenes at the end of the movie. Wow. And then I just got hooked on behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, seriously?
I would always want to get the VHSs that had the behind the scenes features at the end of the movies. Then when DVDs came out,
I was going to say they saved your ass.
Oh yeah, because like internet, we didn't have internet back then.
Right.
So it's like, where can I see stuff how they make it? So like anytime they showed it on like Discovery Channel, there was that TV show, Movie Magic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I always watched
Love
that
that
show.
one.
Loved it.
Yep.
Because I think that's what got me into just to see how they made these monsters, these characters, and all these special effects that just grabbed me right there.
Did you hit the newsstands with the effects magazines?
See, I didn't know about that. I grew up in an area that wasn't big on that.
Don Shea and Jody Duncan, by the way, are from the Inland Empire, who ran EFX magazine.
Well, with me, I was mostly for with the magazines. It was Fangoria.
Yes, my man.
Right. So
and Cinefantastique.
Yes. Oh, that's great. So I was always like at the magazine stores looking at it. And I was like, this is how they do it. That's so cool. They had all the behind the scenes stuff. But my story is exactly the same as Ivan's, except for it's a different little bit of different movies here and there. But the thing was like, one of the things that like, that's
pun intended. Great. One of the things.
Yeah. But for me, when I was little, because I am older than Ivan, the first movie I saw that I was like, how the hell did they do that? What's the wolf transformation in
American Werewolf?
No, Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf. By the way, wow. By the way,
but my first horror movie that I fell in love with horror when I was little was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Yes, I became a huge Fredhead. I'm still a huge Freddy fan to this day.
Wow, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I fell in love with that movie. Like, so I don't know what it was. Him building his glove in the very beginning burned in my head. How he was making that, and the other scenes that just like, what the hell? That just freaked me out. But I was like, I want more. Was Tina's body bag scene? That part when she's in the hallway at the school getting dragged and all this blood everywhere is like, holy crap, this is like your dream. You're asleep. How can you,
And that little moment where she's being dragged and the arm just
flops out like a dead
fish.
fish.
Out as a kid when I saw that, I was like, why did that freak me out?
And then the centipede coming out of her mouth,
Yeah.
By the way, his friend Heads, Lisa Wilcox has been on the show.
No way.
Yes.
I love her.
Her eyes are so hot. As much as I love Heather Langenkamp in the original, Lisa Wilcox's eyes are so haunting in those two movies.
She's beautiful.
She really is.
Yeah. Now, back on the Freddy gloves.
Yes.
Now every movie it's built different, right? Kind of like a Godzilla. Every time it's the movie,
somebody puts it on.
It's a little different, right?
The first film is the only one that they really show him actually making it.
Right.
And then after, it was part 1 and 2 are the same glove, but then things got destroyed from part 1 on the glove, so they had to like reattach some rivets. Some of the ringlets were missing, so they had to either put a new ringlet or they put like a piece of wire just for the meantime.
So people like us would know the details.
Oh yeah. So then but during the state of part 2 when they're filming, the glove became missing, and so I think that's where they got the idea. Let's do the hand that the blades are coming out of the fingers, and the whole makeup, the burn hand, and they had the blade fingers. Because they're gonna find the glove.
They said it was like phasers on the Star Trek television series spin-offs from Next Generation. When you did an Alien in Star Trek, they practically patted you down before you left the studio. Wow. Because when you did it, I mean, people were trying to steal the crap everywhere.
Well, that glove, that's something you could just stash. I mean, it seems like that could be easily.
You can put it right out of your hat, and there you go.
Yeah, so they made,
under your funny hat.
They made another glove for part 3, and that one went missing too. And that one just finally resurfaced not so long ago. And same as part 1, that just resurfaced a couple years ago too. The only one the man that actually owns that right now, his name is Mike Becker, and he everybody's like, oh, that's the Mecca, because that's the screen used, glove. But the only ones that then they started changing after that, they had part 4 that went into Freddy's Nightmares, and then part 5 it changed, and 6 was ugly. one. It was so gross. It looked like butter knives that they use.
It was kind of round butter knife.
They just was butter knife.
That was Freddy's Dead, right?
Yeah, Freddy's Dead Part 6, and then they totally revamped it with New Nightmare with the blade on the finger.
New Nightmare.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I love the whole idea of Freddy coming over as just he's bigger than the movie. He's like a demonic entity that attaches itself to the films to torment Heather Langenkamp. And which actually was funny is that that was the premise for Part 2, I believe it was. Part 2 or 3, and then they finally made it into the film.
Of course, I love Langenkamp and anything, but the Robert Shea and Wes Craven, we're being haunted by Freddy. It was so masturbatory to me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that was Wes Craven's idea was for Part 2. I think it was that Freddy was coming out into the real world that's messing with these actors and the directors and all that stuff.
But to me, hey, I've got a great idea, Carlos. It's going to be about me being chased around by my creation. It just seemed like a stroke job to, hey, look, I'm Wes Craven, and I'm on screen with my Freddy. It's
So how did you, I mean, were you a big werewolf fan before you saw Teen Wolf? Did you see the old school 1933
I think I became more of a Wolfman fanatic, or not fanatic. I became more of a lover of the Wolfman. Was right when I got a little older. I think I was like in my late 20s. I started getting really into like the classic Lon Chaney.
Oh, that's great
and
with
then,
the hind legs.
Yeah, and then I started watching American Werewolf again, and then I was like, wow, this is great. And that's where I started coming into terms like, hey, I would like to do special effects and makeup. And that's where when you saw that transformation, you're like, holy crap, how did they do that?
Wow.
That is so amazing, you know?
Especially on that when his jaw stretches out, and that was a physical effect.
It's all on camera.
It's all
no
physical.
cutaways
It's
or
not
nothing.
digital or anything.
No, it's just a piston with really stretchy foam latex stuff.
No, it wasn't even foam latex.
What was it, like rubber?
It was a urethane.
Urethane?
Wow.
He got a urethane and plasticized it, and they had to use it right away because
it got destroyed, right?
It had a shelf life. It deteriorated within like a couple of days.
Wow.
So that's something that they had to use right away.
So all Wolfman thing, even when they do the time lapse and they overlay the thing, it's still such an awesome thing that just catches you.
Yeah, well, like the 1930s, they did the whole dissolve. You know, all right,
dissolving.
Take a picture. All right, now go. Take a picture. All right, this is more.
I remember Kenneth Johnson telling me when he was going to do the Incredible Hulk in the 70s, he said, I wasn't going to do that Wolfman crap, where it dissolves.
Yeah.
And he said he's filling up he's filling up scuba outfits to rip through the
suit.
to rip through the shirts, and he's just swearing, and he punches the wall and says, "Gee, the Wolfman dissolves, and the only way to do this." I mean, sometimes it's the hack solution because it works.
Yeah.
So how did you
technology you got at the time too?
How did you take Teen Wolf? Comedy? What when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, it was comedic. I think
Tom Berman did the effects of Berman Studios.
Yeah,
one of the Bermans.
The Papa Berman, man, the guy who started it all.
He kind of reminded me of a Groovy Ghoulie.
That
Wolfie. Hey, wow, because he had the hair string. He looked like but he was a hippie wolf man,
like a Hanna-Barbera character.
Yeah.
Or the Captain Caveman.
Oh, wow.
Captain Caveman. Oh my gosh.
Shame on both of you.
We should do a live action Captain Caveman featuring this guy.
Well, the Captain Caveman, I mean, the whole Hanna-Barbera thing, you get Boomerang, and you realize the hours of your childhood you wasted watching absolute garbage. I mean, I interviewed Bruce Timm, and Bruce Timm kept talking about Sell Dirt. And he goes, watch the Flintstones. He goes, watch Jetsons, watch Captain Caveman. He said, because he worked at, Bruce started out, I think, at Filmation. Mm-hmm. And he said the guy would be eating sandwiches over his stop motion board.
Oh, wow. And
you would watch and nobody would dust the board. And so you'd see pieces of the sandwich travel like a train.
That's so funny. And I think I've seen something like that too, but never really thought about it when I was little.
Like Ruby Spears, Filmation, Hanna-Barbera. And he goes, when we were doing like Batman the Animated Series, he goes, we would send stuff back to Korea to reshoot if we had the sandwich on the, And he goes, and they were looking at us like, why would you do that? What possible purpose would this have? But when you're doing creatures, what was the hardest gig you've ever done, both of you?
Oh,
Hardest gig. See, that's a good question.
yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, very good question. I would have to say because like
The most challenging probably that you think it was Sharknado with those molds.
well, that wasn't the first shark project we got. The first shark
for-
project that we
for
got was
Shark
three-headed
Week.
shark attack.
Wow, you worked on that with
I worked on that.
Constance Hall, right?
Yeah.
Wow,
For,
she's great, isn't she?
Asylum and all that. We built.
Oh, in their old Burbank studios.
Yeah.
They,
The old asylum building?
Yeah, I've been there.
they have the three-headed shark on one of the shelves. I don't know if he made the move, but he was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go on, Ivan, I'm
But,
sorry.
we had to create these sharks. So we're like, all right, like we basically had to make this giant armature and pack clay on there, and then sculpt this out and mold it, and just like we were just like, I never molded anything this big. Obviously had to be fiberglass. It could not be a stone mold. That'd just be ridiculous. So just doing that and like realizing like how smooth a shark is, and like you had to get this everything symmetrical. Like we were literally using saw blades, giant saw blades to like rake the clay and everything and make it look all symmetrical, nice. And basically when we mold it, we got to split it, down the center, and like a mold that big when you're peeling it apart, it took like 7 people to pull that
Dang.
mold out.
oh man.
That was a challenging one because like we've never done a shark before. And then once we molds clean out, close it up, fill it with latex, and now we got to fill it with polyfoam. And we're like, okay, how much polyfoam is this going to be?
That's where the math comes in. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
But the thing is,
Is that when it expands?
Yeah.
Talking like how much you got to figure
Yeah.
out. Okay, what's this quart thing mix? We mix A and B together, and,
Right.
and like how much is it gonna fill?
Phil.
But here was
Yeah.
the challenging part. It couldn't be full. It had to be hollow. So it only needed like 3 inches of foam. So what we had to do was fill it with polyfoam and roll the damn thing and just rotocast it.
All right.
So it's like
okay.
we are just rotocasting a giant fiberglass tub. That's what we were doing.
Ah.
That was pretty challenging because we were like, all right, let's make a big batch, like half of a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of polyfoam when it expands.
Oh, yeah.
So we would mix it. I'll get the drill mixer. Like, all right, it's flowing. Get it in there. Just toss it all in there. All right, let the nose clear up. Now roll it.
wow.
Because I think it couldn't be solid. Because if it was solid, even though it's latex and foam, that thing would have been heavy.
It gets so dense, man. Sometimes.
Yeah, and even it being hollow, it was still heavy, and like the thing was going in water. So I was like, it's like a sponge. It's gonna soak up water, and this thing's gonna be like 100, maybe even 300 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Was it?
Luckily, we weren't the crew people. We only had to make the sharks.
So all you had to do is say, bleep y'all.
Imagine
And
having
then
the water if it did soak up. Like, oh man.
But the first one they did, the 2-head shark attack, that was done by Cleve Hall. He made the sharks, but he made them out of straight L200. So that one was pure sponge. So they said when those were in the water, each shark head was like 350 pounds.
I think I saw that one on Monster Man when he had his TV
Yeah,
show.
I
I saw
remember that
that
one too.
shark. I'm all, man, that's a rubbery looking shark.
to his credit, he put one of them in the backyard during one of his Halloween parties.
Oh, really?
Cleve throws great Halloween parties, and
I would think FX people would do good Halloween parties. I know we used to do some haunts before we did anything.
Throw some haunts in the front yard,
Yeah.
scare little kids.
wow, that's great.
Yeah, I love scaring people.
I love scaring those little kids, man.
What was your hardest gig, Carlos?
Oh,
You heard Ivan?
jeez. I don't think anything that's gone on film yet. It was when I was working with Eric and all that. We were doing the Brutus for the makeup demo.
Oh yeah, the makeup demo for Scare Ole.
Yeah, that was the first
Brutus
year
from
of Scarlet.
Popeye? But Brutus from
No,
Popeye?
we just called it Brutus because it was like this big monster, and we that was our first time we were going to be working with fiberglass, doing the mold there and everything like that.
Fiberglass mold, and it was.
That was the beginning of the end for me there.
Oh, just too much work?
No, it's just a lot of problems that I started getting with another worker there that we're just butting heads with that girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was kind of honoring. I think at the time she just felt like I know more than anybody else.
I know.
I've came across that a lot of places I've worked.
Yeah,
You get these young girls that come in and think they're better.
yeah.
Than everybody.
Take it for granted. She did go to school, But you know, you just gotta. Yeah, if you're at the person's shop, that's their shop. Don't try
Our
to.
ways were too schoolboy. It didn't work for us.
Yeah.
She acted like a Miss Know-It-all, and
Yep.
she got herself fired because
Pretty much, yeah.
she was the one they sent on set
they were watching.
for their watching. They sent her to Romania.
Oh no!
And the first thing she says when she gets there, sends an email to Eric. You should have not sent me.
You should not have sent me.
Yeah.
By the way, she waits till she's in Romania to send him this.
Yeah, she basically just got a free trip out of this.
Yeah.
She messed up everything. She couldn't get a body to stick on a wall.
Oh my God, that was the most disturbing effect in the movie, the crucifixion.
Yeah, we were telling her, like, is the body clothed? Yeah. Then you nail that son of a bitch up there. They're not going to see it.
Yeah.
It's up there so there's so much like the camera doesn't see that people don't realize.
Was she on set talking trash about the effects
Yeah.
house? Ugh.
Yeah, I think she was.
She was
right?
talking trash, and then also another effects artist that Eric hired, and he was like also like just talking trash on everything.
But if you're talking, that's disloyal. It's like being in the army. I mean, you can't get over there and start bad mouthing the people who sent you. You
Yeah.
know, it's your army, right or wrong, until this is over.
Yeah, you signed that contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're sitting there in Romania talking crap about this poor effects house in Riverside. And when I met you and saw your amazing effects job you guys did, I met you before, but when I saw what you did, the magical Michelle Headley, where you made her sinister and and Monster Palooza with that Blair Witch type thing.
Yeah.
Is that
But-
this picture?
yes, that's
is that
what-
Michelle?
Yeah,
Michelle.
I picked that.
I didn't even know. I just like.
I love.
And that's what she loved about it because she said that she wanted to do a makeup that nobody recognized that's who that
Because I'm
is.
so
She's
looking
got
at
the
her
big-
with her red cleavage.
but
Yeah.
well, stop being creep. Don't
There's
be
the
a creep.
cleavage is still there. We kept the true, we were showing off a boob.
But what's amazing
Now I
is
recognize your.
I picked that shot because you look so much like Jack Pierce in that picture.
Yeah, it's. I think it just has to do with the shirt.
And when Michelle is so
You look like
lovable,
my
you-
old dentist.
Michelle is so lovable. You made her look so sinister too.
Yeah,
you know?
she did a great job. She loved it.
Well,
she
see-
ate it up and acted the part. She did a great job. The most rewarding part is actually when we first did. That's from our test makeup. We finished up. We're like, all right, let's go take our pictures. She walked outside. It was right at Ivan's house. These group of girls are outside of the house.
Like the neighborhood kids
Yeah.
out playing,
They. I was still in the garage when she was walking. I heard. I was like, what happened? And then I walked down and she's like doing this to the girls. These girls like booked it, I guess, or something.
running
Scaring
opposite
the
ways,
neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
tripping over each other. I was like, wow, okay, we did a good job.
Yeah, so I started laughing. I was like, that's rewarding right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
And but what really impressed me about that, you guys, is looking at your work on her. And when you do a convention, when you're and Monster Palooza is like the knee plus ultra. It's my favorite
Yeah.
It's
convention.
my favorite.
Mine too.
Elliot Brodsky, God bless him, it's better than Comic-Con.
Yes.
Yes.
You know?
I
yeah.
Even though I haven't been
think
there,
so.
but I would say so.
I've done a lot
I
of this.
heard all the Comic Con
SDCC.
stories, so I feel like I've been there.
The only-
I don't need to go.
The only thing I like going for Comic Con is the exclusives. I get all my action figures.
I go for loose and I go for 50-cent books.
Oh, nice.
There was a 50-cent bin and people kept taking pictures. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I kept thinking, I'm just going through the bins to find cool 50-cent books, weird
Yeah.
Marvels, that sort of thing, IDW. And people kept stopping and trying to be surreptitious and taking pictures of the bins. And I thought, why are they doing this? And I looked over. And on the far right, Punisher himself, Thomas Jane of Deep Blue Sea, is sitting, his feet are barefoot, and he's going through a 50-cent
He's
bin.
always barefoot.
Ah, you're not the only one, Thomas Jane. Okay, because we're always making fun of
Yeah.
him. He's sitting down there. Get him away from that 50-cent bin.
And the other side is Guillermo del Toro.
Oh wow.
Guillermo del Toro is like a 12-year-old boy going through the same bins. I was going.
Don't tell me he's going through a 50-cent box too.
Guillermo del Toro, God bless him.
That's crazy.
My hand
Wow.
was going through a 50. God bless Guillermo del Toro. Him and the Punisher were going through the same bins.
I can't bust this guy's chops anymore if those guys are doing
If there's a good 50-cent bin, and I mean, you'll find. I found so many copies of Tomb of Dracula 10, the first appearance of Blade, the real one, in the 50-cent bins.
Wow.
And it's amazing because you'll find
You just find those rare gems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked on the show about finding great. There's a mini series on Solomon Kane from Marvel that apparently was a bomb. It's a great book if you find that in the 50-cent bins. I mean, give them a look, you guys. They're still good 50-cent pins out there.
Because not all the stories are going to be 50 cents, right? You're going to have some good stories out of there.
And but with Michelle, when I saw Michelle, you hit her big puppy dog eyes really well. You made her look sinister. But
give her those eyebrow
now that I know it's her, now I recognize.
And you gave her the David B. Miller Freddy witch nose.
Yes, we wanted to do
very
that.
adamant. It was like she needs a witch nose.
She has a witch nose and the chin, like the crescent chin.
The pointy chin. Yeah,
like the crescent moon style.
But what impressed me is you guys went all out on her back as well. I mean, there's parts where you have water bloat. There's parts where you have her elbow, and her elbow is turning to wood.
Yeah, like on her arm. Like,
oh my God, that was fantastic. You had rot.
Impressive.
You had skin rot mixed with wood on her back, which was really disturbing. I mean, and then the frayed noose. It was one of those great effects jobs where the effects itself tell the story.
That's what we wanted.
Exactly what we're going for. Like we were like, this makeup needs to tell a story.
Yeah, and we did that. We researched so much about the Blair Witch, and because I was a fan of the first film.
Yes.
When it came out in 99, right? 2000.
Right.
2000.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, around 2000, I think. But they based it in 99. They found the footage.
Yeah.
So So it was in 2000. But I became a fan of my ex at the time. Her and I, we were like, this is crazy stuff. Let's get into it. So we checked out the folklore of everything like that, with all the whole backstory that they fictionalized for this Blair Witch. So I brought that to the team. We had a meeting and say, hey, we got an opportunity to do Monsterpalooza makeup on.
And by the way, Monsterpalooza, people are even more critical than IMATs in terms of makeup.
Yeah, and we got nothing but good responses. But we had our meeting, and I think I told Ivan I wanted to do a Blair Witch a while ago before we ever got this.
Yeah, because like we had other opportunities at other conventions to do makeups. Like we did a our own rendition of Nosferatu.
Yeah,
and we did a zombie. Another one. But like we were like, oh, let's do a Blair Witch. But we also like, how do we make her look like? And this time we just really got down to the nitty gritty. Like, all right, this is how she's gonna look like. We literally went to the drawing board and put a list going like, she needs this, she needs this, she needs this. There's these concept pictures online because there's like this sci-fi fake documentary.
Right.
By the way, the Sci-Fi Channel documentary, the Blair Witch,
Burkensville 7, I think.
It's so much better. The one they did is so much better than the book. It's the same guys, Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel.
Yes,
Lovett.
The original director.
It's the same guys who did the movie, but it's 10 times better than the movie.
Basically, what I heard how they did that because they had over 19 hours of footage.
Yes.
So whatever they didn't use for the movie, they used that to make that documentary.
And that fake mockumentary is so much better than the Blair Witch movie. I thought, you know what I mean? And but go on. I'm sorry. Myrick told me. I think Myrick was the one who told me. He said they were obsessed with Bigfoot movies because when I told him, oh man, all you did was Boggy Creek, and he laughed and he goes, I went to do a Bigfoot movie on this, and he goes, and so we made our own Bigfoot for this, the Blair Witch. But he eventually did it. Really, there's a great Bigfoot movie on Netflix called Exists that he made. It's a lot of fun. It's a Blair Witch Bigfoot movie. But when Bigfoot shows up, there's a high body count, which is very important to me.
That's funny.
Yeah, just when we're doing the Blair Witch, just all those things we put down, like we really followed close to, and
we of course we said because like in the legend she said that the kids would go up and with their own blood they'll get their hands and then soak it on her body like so little kid handprint. So I got my nephew and alginated his hands and made silicone imprints of his hands. Wow. So we would dip those in blood and put it on because we didn't know if we were to have a little kid to go put our hands on it. So I was like, let me just life cast your hands. So I life casted my godson's hands.
Oh, and then your sister was there to make sure he had a good time, obviously, right?
She wasn't there.
That is so cool. That would be like, as a godfather, that would be so great to be the cool uncle who can do life casts.
That was cool. Yeah. I came up with the drawing and I showed everybody this is what I think she should look like, and then from there we got the idea and it came pretty freaking close to what the drawing was.
Like when we look at the concept and our final makeup, it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, you were so kick ass on her back. When she did the slow turn to show on her back, when you did the rot, the bloat, and then the tree bark. I was just you did that. you could have half-assed it. You could have thrown like a rag on her to cover it. You guys went all out. And I mean, and on the lower back, you're still doing terrible things to her musculature. And I was really impressed that you were going that far in, you know?
Yeah, we thought that because the whole lore of her was that she was tied up to a tree and left out in the coldest parts of the winter to die.
Wow.
So we thought it would be cool of her her morphing into one of the trees because, of course, she died, so she would have to be part of the tree. So that's why when you see the back of her whole head is turning into like basically like roots and parts of the branches of the tree, but there's a big chunk of her head missing in the back, and you see skull.
Yes,
like she ripped out of the tree, you know. And that was a last minute thing we just thought of.
That was last
I was sculpting it, and I was like, "What do you think about this?" And I told Ivan, "Yeah, sculpt it, see how it looks." And I did it, showed Ivan. He's like, "I like that."
Ivan showed me that part, and it blew me away. But what blew me away is the detail on the small of her back where nobody's going to look.
Right.
You guys still were kicking ass.
That was one thing too, because like we treated this like a movie, but like even more than that, because we're like, this is a convention. People are going to be 360.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah, you just can't be.
It's not just a convention. It's the Super Bowl of horror conventions.
Yeah. Rick Baker saw our makeup.
Yeah, he got a. I saw Rick Baker did a selfie with Michelle, and that's a high compliment to you guys.
Right.
You know.
I just like when I saw that picture, I was like, my goodness, like I'm gonna fall.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy.
And she just did, but she looked amazing, and she looked sinister, which is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, the attention to detail, you guys, and I love that because that was as good a calling card as any of your film work.
Our other sculptor, Daniel, he's the one that started off with the face. I think I started doing the nose and the chin, and then he started doing all the other parts, and then
blocking it out, getting like the finer details.
Yeah, and then I came in and did some of the other stuff that I thought, well, this will probably look better like this, because I think at the first we didn't like the eyebrows how they came out. I was like,
it looked too lizard.
Yeah, it looked very lizardy. So we're like, what is this way? So I think I just basically smashed it down and brought it out more of an evil brow, looking like thorns.
Yeah.
You know,
like the way you mix the plant life and vegetation on her in the wood.
I mean, the skinny, stickly,
but
the real fine ones coming out of her head is amazing.
Yeah.
But the best thing about her in that is that she's half sympathetic and half sinister. You know what I mean? I mean, because you feel bad. You look at the frayed ropes and everything, and there is a story there. I mean, she doesn't have to say, well, blah, 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 because it's all there. And all the evidence of what happened is...
One of the great things I thought was great was that Ivan's really great at making bloods. And he thought the idea is, what if we make it look like a blood with a little bit of sap? Sap.
I saw that. Yeah. A little bit down her elbow as well.
Yeah, elbows around the head.
So, and even on her breast, like we kind of smeared around there. And I also wanted to make a fake blood that when it dries, it still looks like wet, but it's dry to the touch.
Right.
So I made some, and then I played with the colors a bit, and I was like, what do you guys think of this? Looking at it in the light and everything. It's like, okay, it looks red, but also it has that yellow tint to it.
Yeah, like an ochre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, and to me, what added to your degree of difficulty is that Monster Palooza. You had all the horror heavyweights doing their homages to Rick Baker.
Yeah,
you had Greg Canham recreating Without Warning. You had American Werewolf. You had Thriller. You had all these classic.
Oh yeah,
and you know what? You guys were up to snuff. You were stood shoulder to shoulder with their work and held up. And I mean. You wished Michelle could have been put in a case on a rotating circle all week at Lazy Susan all weekend just to admire everything you guys did, Yeah.
One thing I told Ivan, I pronounced it a lot. I was really nervous. I was like, I just hope people understand what this is. They see what it is, because in the movie they never show what the Blair Witch looks like. So nobody's gonna say, oh, they see my Joker. Oh, that's the Joker. They know right away because they've seen it before. And this one is our own interpretation of the Blair Witch. So we, even to some of the stuff that we put on her, we put a necklace with teeth on there.
Wow, I missed that.
That's just very subtle. But if you're looking at like, holy crap, there's teeth around her neck. Because in the movie, the girl, she opens up a bundle of sticks, and Josh's teeth are in there. And I was like, that'd be great to put teeth on her. You know that, and then we got to all nice and bloody, so we put little fake teeth around her neck.
Wow,
So like little subtle things like that we did.
And of course the witch crosses.
Yes.
The Blair Witch symbol, that's what helped too.
Yeah.
There was people that like saw the makeup and said, "Oh, it's like the Blair Witch." Then she would hold up the cross. Was like, "Oh yeah, it is the Blair
It's
Witch."
the Blair Witch.
Like,
And then when they said that, I was like, they got it.
But
I felt so like verified right there.
I argued though you didn't really need that because a witch half tree and everything.
Yeah.
And when you gave her, I was so impressed when you gave her the David B. Miller, Freddy Krueger witch nose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I remember Barton Mixon telling me when he did the Freddy remake.
Yep.
And he said the studio couldn't decide. They said, well, burn victims' noses fall off. So maybe Freddy doesn't have a nose. And he said they were tearing their hair out because Freddy's got to have that nose. He falls apart.
Gotta have that hook nose,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And that hook nose came in part 2 because in part 1
It wasn't in part 1?
No.
David B. Miller,
David
though.
Miller didn't do the nose.
That weird snail nose isn't David Miller. That's Steve. It's Kevin Haney.
No, Kevin Yeager.
Kevin Yeager.
Kevin, yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chucky. Okay, go.
Yeah, he even said he's like, I wanted to make Freddy look more witch-like, and yeah, they did more skeletal around the eyes, and they get that witch nose.
Of course, they would do the best Freddy makeup in the weakest
Oh,
movie.
that's the best Freddy makeup. But
Yeah, it's great.
The best Freddy glove for me is the Freddy versus Jason.
That one is great.
I love that
Yeah.
glove because it just looks like just like a bear claw. Like that thing is just
And mine, yeah,
You
that's my
have to have
favorite.
a good glove to shred into
Oh yeah,
Jason.
with
Yeah.
the machete. Yeah, you have to do that. But mine is definitely Freddy vs Jason, and then
Over 4?
for the glove,
Yeah.
I that's part 4 is probably my number 4th favorite.
Fourth
Yeah,
favorite?
because it's
You like 1, 2, and 3 better?
Well, I love the first glove just because it's the first glove. You know, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
you gotta love the
Iconic
first of
stuff.
anything.
It's beautiful. Like I have a version that this guy makes, and it's beautiful. He calls it the Avenger glove. And I have that one, and I have part 4. But from my point of view, I love the part 1 glove first, part 3, and then Freddy versus Jason in part 4.
Wow.
Those are
I'm
my
pretty
favorite
cool. Like
ones.
a part 3 glove, I do like.
Yeah, I love part
I
3s.
like the whole the welds sticking out from the plates and everything.
But
Well, that's
4,
that's part 4.
Well, it's part 4.
because 4, Steve Johnson, Linnea Quigley's bare breasts in Freddy's chest.
Yeah, but
And-
nobody knows it's her because
I know
coming out.
that drives me crazy. The preeminent scream queen in a Freddy movie, and nobody notices.
But they say if they ever need a naked woman, go for Leanne.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, if it was a naked woman in the '80s horror, you got to
It's
go
her.
with Linnea.
It's her.
So I would love to see your rendition of the Blair Witch, your vision. I would love to see that in a movie. I mean, God,
That's so
have
weird.
Michelle play the role.
Right,
I mean,
that-
Who
that'd
was
be
it
great.
that told us? Someone told
Someone told
us.
let's get the
On
money together.
on the convention floor, we can shoot this right now.
Yeah,
Did they
it's
really?
just
I don't
Cameron
remember
Reddy.
them saying
Yeah,
that.
someone said I couldn't remember.
It was Cameron Reddy. It really was.
Wow. That's great.
I think you're right there. They were saying we can shoot this right now, just the way she looked.
Wow, really? I
And
didn't
that was
hear. That's the first
right
time I heard
there
that
was one
one.
of the biggest compliments. I was like, when someone says we can shoot this,
Yeah.
Please tell me
It
you
must have
got
been
it.
when you were walking with her, but yourself when I had to leave.
yes, that's what it was.
Ivan, please tell me you got that guy's card.
Well, we got a couple of cards. We got the scary closet.
Oh, Scary Closet. Yeah, they saw our
Yeah.
work and they loved it.
But I mean, as someone who, not just writing for horror magazines, but I've had a few live casts and been creatures. I was looking at it up close because you usually when you're in the monster all day, in a movie, you just all you notice are imperfections here or there.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking. I ran into you with her, and then I ran into you with her like 2 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
And not only was it camera ready, it looked amazing 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was holding up. Like we were like on it. Like if we saw like an edge lift up, like
Yep.
oh, give me the person.
Yeah, and the problem part was just the chin part around the laugh lines.
We had to use grease paint
Yeah.
on just to hide that. Right?
But that skeletal pointed chin was so disturbing. And the
yeah,
nose,
like her side profile just like had that crescent moon.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing we were
almost like a kid for kid or a Nightbreed.
Yeah.
Now imagine that on set, doing that at night in with the right lighting.
The right
We
lighting.
did take some pictures of that.
Oh, yeah.
By Ivan's house.
And I'm just imagining already of her pulling out of the tree and the thing and just having it in detail and having the chunk.
There's this really great picture of her right next to a tree when we took pictures.
Oh, yeah.
And she actually morphed into the tree like you couldn't really tell.
Her hand's like on a trunk and she's like leaning back like that, and her hand disappears within the tree.
Yeah, and that was very.
That can be very terrifying filmed with the right camera angles and the mood and the music.
Well, hopefully, maybe we might make some bigger waves that they might come to us or
even
something.
a 15-minute.
Did you see a movie? I meant to ask you guys this, but at Monster Palooza, you know what I mean? I just wanted to get out of the way and let you guys get your accolades walking around the hall. But I meant to ask, did you see Cemetery Man?
No.
It's this Rupert Everett movie, and in the last half of the movie, he makes love to this half-tree woman who comes out of the grave. And it reminded me a little. It was a more sensual makeup. You guys went straight for horror, but it still pulled off a little bit of sensualism.
Yeah,
but they made her. It was a beauty makeup in Cemetery Man. But I remember I wanted to ask you if that was an influence at all.
No, I think the movie for me that influenced that whole idea I kept throwing out was like the movie The Guardian.
Oh my God, William Friedkin!
Yeah,
wow.
Because she was part tree. Toward the
she
end.
totally was, and. Friedkin told me they got a cancer patient.
Oh, wow.
That's for the scene where her leg falls off.
Yes.
That was a cancer patient. And by the way, they shot that behind Magic Mountain. The woods behind Magic Mountain are owned by the Richfield oil field companies. So every episode, whenever you saw the Greatest American Hero, the Incredible Hulk, and
they're just running in the woods and stuff.
Remember when they're running they're battling hillbillies in a small town? They were shooting behind Magic Mountain because it was an oil company road. They would just put in like the 2-lane symbol and a couple road signs, and you had the use of this road all day long that nobody was using.
That's awesome.
You know, and they shot all of the Guardian there. I mean,
the whole of course the fake tree that they had with the babies in there.
By the way, my problem with that movie is in the first 10 minutes, she's gonna they just promised you she's gonna sacrifice a baby to a tree. She holds up the baby, and it makes that disappearing sound from Lost in Space. I know originally.
I don't even remember that. What the sound it made.
It was when the movie died right there.
The thing for me that just haunted me when I was little watching that was just the whole when the guy is whacking at the tree and all the blood is coming out.
The gore is pouring out of the tree.
Yeah, that was so crazy. And you just see all these baby faces in there. So it's like she's been doing this for such a long time.
Centuries,
to keep him alive. It's crazy. It was good. And the tree actually moved and started hitting the guy too. It was great.
And he said the wolves were easy to work with.
Really?
He said.
Well, they have those Hollywood wolves that are really trained. They're just basically dogs. They're domesticated dogs.
I'm so happy to hear you reference The Guardian. I think Friedkin is embarrassed by it a little bit. I think because it was a bomb, and they played up the director of Exorcist on the. And it's one of those underrated Friedkin movies.
Yeah, it was totally underrated.
Anytime you can. When you mash up nature with humor, especially the tree, that's so creepy. I've had nightmares as a child as the tree trunk monsters. They pull their upside down with their roots in their head. It's a terrifying thing.
Yeah, that's basically what it looked like, with roots coming out of her head.
I love that was so dear the Triffids or Bernie Wright's and Swamp Thing. I was really impressed.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we did.
Wow, I mean, but
we want to put moss on her and all that.
Moss.
Mushrooms.
Well, we didn't want to go with the mushroom part because
we thought that would look too whimsical.
Whimsical,
and too foresty, I think.
Yeah, she's not a wood nymph. She's a dead witch.
Yeah, and we wanted her to be more of the woods.
Our sculptor Daniel, he was thinking about doing this. Like, how about we put a mushroom like on her cheek and everything? I'm like, this looks like a little dick coming out of her face.
By the way, blunt but true.
Then she's gonna turn into a fairy, a wood fairy.
So what a Smurf supposed to live in her face?
But the fact that you guys did this at a show where all of Rick Baker's proteges were trying to wow him, and he was wowed by. I did see you guys taking the picture with Michelle.
Yeah,
and I was just so proud of you guys because it was such a great looking makeup.
Yeah, and I don't know if he. Because we're not gonna ask Rick Baker, "What'd you think?"
Yeah.
But I guess when somebody said that if Rick Baker said something, he actually did like it. So he's
got his attention and he's going, wow.
Yeah, because the first time he saw it was before we did the makeup. It was on a Friday when we got there.
Yeah,
and we had a picture because when we were working with Real Creations, they actually made like little small posters of Michelle. and they gave us one, and we were walking around, and Rick Baker's like, "What's that?"
Wow.
And we're like, "That's gonna be our makeup for tomorrow." And he's like, "Huh, I'd like to see that." Wow. And we saw him and hunted him down, and he remembered it. And I was like,
the man
"That's
himself."
awesome." The man himself, like that was pure validation for me. I was like,
Oh yeah.
holy crap.
He loved you until you told him how much you love West Covina. Then he said, "Hey, Carlos, is this coffee hot? You tell me."
I love
My cornea.
I love your auto malls.
Auto malls.
That's what I think of West Covina.
Yeah.
Just tons of auto.
It's like when I hear Southgate, all I can hear is the Pete Ellis Dodge theme song. I see the bouncing ball, it's engraved in my brain.
But you got to award these guys, award them as most creative creature at Monsterpalooza.
I hope so. Thank you.
Hands down, man.
We did see one that it was made by some high school students that was like really creative with that troll that's picking up like a mountain with the
Oh, yeah.
building.
That was really good too. Yeah.
That was really good. I was like, that's awesome. It's out of the norm that you see out of Monsterpalooza, but it got a lot of attention.
So they'll use that picture for next year's poster, or
You imagine?
or a
Ooh.
magazine, or
Yeah, well, Real Chris was telling us like they because how they have ads in the Monsterpalooza magazines, and they said that would be in there.
yeah.
And they've used Michelle as a poster girl before for the airbrushing
Right.
and stuff. And what's interesting is, again, you guys did. I remember Dick Smith at one of the first Monsterpaloozas, and some girl ran up to him and said, "Can I show you my portfolio?" And I thought, "Oh God, who the world's greatest makeup artist?"
Right.
And he goes, "Sure." And he was blunt and honest with her. And he goes, he looks down at the book, and I remember she had a Freddy Krueger, and it was an okay Freddy Krueger,
Yeah.
And he goes, never do this. He was more like doing what you do, whereas you created your interpretation of the Blair
Right.
Witch was never shown.
Yeah, and if you do Freddy Krueger, you're gonna compare it to Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
he
you're going to
goes-
get comparisons.
He said to the girl, he goes, "This is a garage Freddy Krueger," and he goes, and it's very efficient for a garage Freddy Krueger, but he goes, "But the problem with you is," he goes, "when you show this to anybody, all they'll see is what's wrong with your Freddy Krueger."
Right.
And he goes, "The Freddy Krueger from New Line is top line. He's well lit. He's
He's Robert England.
He's Robert England." Yeah, and he goes, and all a professional will notice is what you got wrong about
Right.
Freddy Krueger.
Makes sense.
He goes, "If you do a Freddy, your own type of monster," he goes, "they can't say anything because it's all yours."
Right.
I remember thinking that made so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just this guy who was casually ambushed into looking at her, and instead of blowing smoke up her,
Yeah.
he turned around and gave her the truth. And I thought, what great advice.
Yeah, because you're more forced to look at the actual makeup instead of like, well, this looks off. Why this looks like it doesn't look like
The
Robert.
original, where it's like
She-
you have something new to look at.
She's got a good corrective criticism,
Right.
is what
Yeah.
That's what she needed for that. Say, hey, okay.
Right.
Yeah, he was totally honest, which you never get in this day and age.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. Come up with something totally original.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to do.
And that was so cool because, like you said, everybody's trying to imagine what she looks like,
Right.
and everybody's got their own interpretation.
But your interpretation, I never saw the Adam Wingard movie. Did they ever show her in that?
Is that the newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
like an out of focus frame.
Yeah.
But to me,
But it was really
wasn't-
weird.
It's
She
not
looked
what
more
you wanted.
arachnid.
You wanted more of that.
Arachnid.
Yeah, she looked more arachnid because really long arms, elongated arms, and elongated legs.
Very lanky. It was more alien-like.
Yeah,
So arm
Looking like a
extension-
slender man.
pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like walking on fours.
Oh, by the way, did they do the like mime run, or was it just like barely walking on all fours?
I don't know. It's kind of hard because she would come in and out of a frame real fast.
Yeah, she was like in frame, like for like a second.
Yeah.
Just see her like whoop and whoop again.
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
I didn't like it. I was pissed off more than anything. I've always wanted to see a Blair Witch and I guess they intended it in the original film. The one part when they're running and she's saying, "What the hell is that? What the hell is that?" and the camera pans. They missed the marker and didn't see what there was out there.
Oh, man.
But it actually worked more in our favor because we're thinking, what are they seeing? What are they seeing? and that just builds up more to the
But it
intensity.
does lead to curiosity, like how
Yeah.
does that witch look like?
Exactly.
Like, I tried looking online, like if there's pictures, there's like nothing.
And I think they talked about what she looked like. Supposedly it looked really bad.
She had a white robe.
Yes,
on
something like
and
that.
like a really long hair, and it was an actress that was an older woman, and they did makeup on her.
I always feel bad for those actresses when you see those Hammer movies like Countess Dracula. Okay, bring in the hag.
But you know what? One of our
Like the one in The Shining.
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Shining.
One of our inspirations too for the Blair Witch was that Todd McFarlane came out with this toy line, and he did two versions of the
Tooth
Blair
Fairy.
Witch. Well, she had two. He had two versions of the Blair Witch. He had one that was more skeletal, and then he had another one that's kind of like had horn type of thing.
Yeah, it was very demon.
Yeah, it was more demon, and so we kind of had the idea of like we kind of want to look like this, but less skeletal. But like we liked the look of it because she had like torn clothing.
Torn clothing, the skin very webby and rotted,
and had some roots or something like that coming out of her hair.
Like a lot of protruding roots from the skin,
Right.
and like skin turning into.
And I don't even think it actually has skin on it. It looked maybe it might have been really thin, but it was very
like
skeletal.
Wood grain looking.
Yeah. And they had like a veil on her and stuff like that. But the thing is, in the movies, they never talked about her having a veil. They always just talked about she had a shawl. So we were like, she has to have a shawl. And that she exposed herself and she had like hair. But we're like, well, let's not do hair. Let's do more moss that could be mistaken as hair.
Wow. Yeah, because I was just blown away. And the cold, unforgiving light of the convention, you could see every detail, and it was so impressive.
And we thought, like, well, this is like around the witch trial era, so it's kind of like the Puritan style clothing. So we said, what this is gonna look like, and we got our costume designer. We should look like this. And then she was like, well, what color are we going to do? I was like, well, it's going to have to look really old and aged, like if it's been around for a while. So they ended up, they did everything in black, and then they bleached it and turned like this really weird brown, which is it looked really cool.
Earth tones. You got those earth tones.
And then we just stressed everything out. And
then the final touch was me getting water, putting coffee grains in it, and putting a squirt mount on it.
Wow.
Yes. On the white parts, it made it look more dingy.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with Michelle. You lucked out with a perfect model too. You're not going to get someone who's going to bitch in the chair,
right? She came.
Awesome.
Yeah, she kind of came to us because her and I have been friends for a long time, and she's like, "When are you going to make me a model? When are you going to make me one of your guys' models?"
Twist my arm.
She's already there. You don't have
Well,
to
the thing
ask.
is, like, I was like, "Yeah, I want to do it, but I want to have our own shop to do it, and we wanted her to come into a professional situation." And the times that we got really close to getting our own shop, stuff fell through. And so I told Ivan, it's like, you know what? She came up to me, let's just pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Let's just pull the trigger. Let's do it. Screw it. What do we got to lose?
Yeah.
And so we ended up doing it, and, we got what we got. And I think we did a great job. Ivan moved out of his house from where we first met him to this bigger house. So his garage is a great place where we could work out. So we all went there. We all met up there and did everything there. We did the live cast there. We did the sculpting. We did the molding. We did the application.
Is it in the area?
Yeah, it's in
and like
Moreno Valley.
The border between Moreno Valley and Riverside.
Okay, Mobile and Riverside. Oh, so you're not too far out. You know what I
Not
mean?
too bad.
Just right off the 60.
I'll be honest with you. I love getting the alginate. Every time I do a live cast, your skin feels great for about a week afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with this one around, we're like, we need to do multiple pools. Let's do body double from Smooth On.
So
it's a silicone.
A silicone live cast.
Wow.
Yeah, and it came out beautiful. That was our first time using it. I used it before.
Is that the paintable? It's thick, and you could spread it on like peanut butter, and then just peel it.
Yeah.
It sets up, and then peel
So
it.
you did a full body cast.
Did they get that from Silpack?
No, we got it from Reynolds.
Material.
Yeah.
So, but you guys did a full body cast of Michelle, right?
We first did the face, and then we did the front of her
Chest
body.
piece and then her arm.
Yeah, and
Because
then
when
her
you
arm.
made her breast like swollen and waterlogged, it was just so disturbing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the latex. I think that helped out looking like that because we didn't do foam latex. We just did slip latex.
But
And-
it just like I sculpted in a way that I knew it would form fit her breast,
Yeah.
and like it would just look right.
It looked great because you took it And by the way, you're basically destroying destroying a beautiful thing. But the amazing thing is, she looked so disturbing. I mean, because she has big puppy eyes, and when you put that brow on her,
it hid a lot of that. And then we put those white contacts on her that made her look even more sinister.
That finished the makeup.
Yeah, with the bony chin and the witch nose, and once you made her eyes sinister, it was all there. But you still felt bad for her when you saw the extent of agony she obviously went through as the character.
And I think also what sold the thing too, because she loves to smile.
Yeah.
So
her smile, you turned it. One of her greatest
smile. So it was really hard for her. I kept on almost stop smiling. But what we did was
Michelle into this very horrible
because she was actually with Rick Baker. I was like, stop smiling, and then Rick Baker is like, well, who, me or her?
He should be the one guy in the world you don't have to say that to.
Right. And so, but what we decided is like, well, if she has nice pearly white teeth, it's gonna look stupid.
Oh, did you paint her teeth?
So we painted her teeth, and then we also put mouth effects in her mouth, and to make her tongue and gums look all nasty, black and brown.
That's always my least favorite part about a monster gig, when they're painting your teeth down.
Yeah.
So can't you just put in the appliance and hide them?
You've got to be ugly on the inside as well.
Yeah, we could have gone with doing like some fake teeth with her, but we were like, you know what, let's just paint her teeth. It'll look just as good. I think it'll look great.
My own preference as a creature on different shows, once they put that gunk in your teeth, then you can't really visit Crafty or anything,
Well, she did good. She was just able to eat because we used an alcohol-based paint on her teeth.
Wow. Okay, so wash right off.
Yeah, well, you have to kind of scrub more or use, like mouthwash, and it'll start coming off because it has a little bit of alcohol in the mouthwash. So.
Wow.
But it stayed on all the whole time when we were there. We didn't have to do any touch-up on her teeth.
No touch-ups on her teeth. Like it was there
all
day.
Nice.
That surprised me because I thought
by after we ate lunch, because we took a break to go eat, and we thought, we'll have to do touch-ups. The only thing we had to do touch-ups was her chin from her laugh lines are at, because they're separating from the movements of her face from eating.
Wow. Because when you look at creatures like that, the hardest part. Let me ask you, as somebody who's done monsters, why do you immediately, when you've been airbrushed and made up, I've noticed this on every creature gig I've done, as soon as you're in direct sunlight, your eyes water uncontrollably. Why is that?
It's the fumes that coming from the makeup.
Yeah.
Really?
Because a lot of airbrush makeup is alcohol based, so your pores are exfoliating, and it's like causing those fumes to rise up, and that's why your eyes water.
Yeah.
Because in Star Trek or anything else, there'd always be the little girl running at you with the paintbrush. Look up, look up, look up.
Yeah. And what I do to stop that, like I put a lot
Grease
of,
paint or what?
I use grease paint on the eyes, but for the skin, for the makeup to stay there and not to be so, uncomfortable for the actor, I put a lot of Final Seal on them.
Wow.
The Final Seal creates a barrier where you won't sweat as much and you won't exfoliate as much. So it helps, it's good for the actor.
Wow. Because when you look at that, when you see that going, it's just interesting. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've never been able to understand, as soon as you're in direct sunlight, your eyes you cry.
Yeah. And one thing that this is like, I'm pretty sure this is every makeup artist's worst nightmare, is when you do an awesome elaborate makeup, whether it be monster or just like a silicone old age makeup, and they break for lunch and they have either barbecue ribs, spaghetti, or pizza, because that just eats makeup right there.
Yeah.
God!
I worked on the zombie.
sauces.
I worked on the zombie project called the Z Virus, and the last day of filming is when we had the most zombies. And
Was that the Fangoria produced one?
No, this one was also done by Screen Gems, and it's available on Roku and Amazon.
I have Amazon. What's it called again? The Z Virus?
The Z Virus.
And that's your work, Ivan?
Yeah, that one, because since it was such a low budget, they told us all zombie makeups have to be out of the kit makeups. There was no pre-production for
out of the kit makeups.
By the way, right away, that's how you doom your movie.
But it's cool.
So using pizza sauce for blood.
That last day of filming, I was like, okay, what's for lunch? Pizza.
Oh, God.
I'm like, we are going to have to touch up all these makeups when they're done eating. Sure enough, we had to.
Well, what's great is that what came out of that one is that our other person that's with us from Phantom Zone Effects is Miranda and her boyfriend Steven. Yeah. Ivan and her were both working on that film together, and that's where we kind of had the idea. I was like, well, maybe we should get her aboard on this too, because she was very passionate about it and very hardworking.
Very sweet girl. Has
great work ethic.
Oh, then let's pimp her name. Then what's her last name?
Sweden. Miranda Sweden.
Okay, cool. So you just making effects with you guys?
Yes. Yeah, she was part of the team that we did
she's
for.
Definitely part of the team.
So she's the Ursa to your Zod and Nun?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm.
Damn.
You have to be Nun. You got the beard and the hair. He's Zod. He's in charge.
Zod.
I'll just stop talking and go, ooh.
I gotta ask you guys, how many appliances you had pre-made? Did you have doubles just in case before you went to?
No, actually,
They're all one-offs.
Yeah, the first time we did our first run was for the photo shoot that we had to do for Real Creation, and then we actually ended up salvaging the cowl for that one, and what else?
It was just the cowl.
Just the cowl, right?
So how many pieces that apply to the head?
There was a brow piece,
the brow piece, the chin,
shoulder,
the forearm.
Wow.
And then the protruding wood prosthetics
Right.
on the upper arm.
the cowl.
The cowl.
How long did it take to put her in it? The whole thing?
4 hours.
First it was 4 hours. Then in the hotel room and everything, Mospalooza,
It's 3.5.
it was like 3.5. Yeah. So we cut down
Because you got it down to, I love it.
How many people working?
Sorry.
How many people doing her at the same time?
Oh, it was 3.
There's 3 of us.
What I ended up doing
That's
is
a lot of work right there.
yeah,
People
like-
in 4 hours.
what we ended up doing, I think I glued on the front face piece, the chin, and the cowl, right?
Yes.
And then they attacked the body. They started doing all the painting on the body, doing the appliances that attached to her shoulder, everything else, and her arm. And I stood back until they're at a good spot. Then I went in and started doing the fine paint details.
Yeah, he was working on the face, and I was working on the body airbrushing, doing vein work and all.
And we had to do the new prosthetic for the day of. So that Friday, I was in the hotel room and I was pre-painting everything, the face piece. The face piece, the chin, and I think that was it, right? We just did that.
Yeah, we just pre-painted the chin and the face.
We're like, we could do the arm blender the day of.
Yeah, the arm was no biggie.
Yeah.
But with Monster Palooza, you're going to be surrounded by the world's greatest monster effects artists, and you held your own.
And your peers too, because that's the thing is like we want our peers to think. That's our first time our peers got a chance to see what we could actually do.
Yeah.
Because every time we would come in, we came in as just like basically spectator friends, and we would see all their stuff they did, and then we went to their booth and like, this is what we did. And
yeah, we took a stroll to the Immortal Mass booth because a lot of our friends were there.
They worked there.
We went and like right there at Immortal Mass, people just like surrounded her, looking at her, like asking
us questions.
Yeah, and like just hearing the criticism from other artists, because like it's nice to hear them from people just spectating,
right?
But from hearing them from other artists, people who work in the street, and saying like
people that have been established for a while.
Yeah,
already.
and it's like, I like what you did here. I loved your paint job. Wow, that like for me, that's like, that's a big compliment.
And that's something.
These guys, man.
And that was something that it was really great because Ivan was in charge of hiring, getting all the colors. So he's on. We said let's do this kind of color scheme, but he was the one that looked in the catalog. Like, okay, this is what we need. This is this. So he got all the color palette together, and then it was my job to put those colors in the sequence that we wanted to do.
No, if I can ask you about your work, could I ask about There Watching? Because when I realized you did it, I discovered on Netflix, and usually when you discover a horror movie you know nothing about based on the logline, it's always a terrible Saw ripoff or something. 5 guys wake up in a cave,
Yeah.
And There Watching sucked me in. I loved it, and that crucifixion, without giving too many details, there's this horrific a character who really doesn't deserve what happens to her.
Yeah, Dimitri.
Yeah, Dimitri, and that last 10 minutes with people being.
And I love Dimitri in that film. He was so funny.
He is.
He came into the shop. We did a whole body life cast.
And
you destroyed the
he's an
camera.
amazing guitar player too.
Really?
He does like flamenco style and all this crazy
that
stuff.
stuff's hard.
He
to
is
do,
so good.
But like the crucifixion of the woman on the side of the barn and stuff, and the guy being torn in half, and Dimitri, those were amazing, and those were physical effects.
And what's funny is that a lot of the effects that we did for that film didn't get used, or didn't have enough a lot of camera time.
That sucks, man.
There's this elaborate mask that it was called Snakehead. It's a guy's
that was
head
so cool.
split in half, and there's snakes sticking out. It's only in frame for like a millisecond. The guy, but like, the thing is, the guy runs across the camera and he's doing this. He's blocking it. He's blocking it with his hands. Like,
that's right. There's a lot of stuff. We had to make a bunch of frogs.
But I would say right now,
and you're not in Romania. The girl you sent to Romania was complaining, like talking down.
And I think that's what happened was because since she was like majorly in charge to do everything, I think that's why a lot of the stuff got scrapped because like it was time and stuff that she didn't know what to do. Like she couldn't even do an axe gag.
Yeah, the axe to the head.
Yeah.
It was hard for her, and I was like, you ever seen those toys of the Indian arrow through the head?
Yeah, Steve Martin.
That's all it was.
The same thing.
Don't worry, man.
Yeah, wow.
And so we sent out a bunch of fake axes,
pitchforks. Scythes, a bunch of fake weapons.
I remember too. There's the scene at the very end where everybody's transforming into different animals too.
Oh yeah, there's a pigman makeup.
Yeah, I sculpted the hand of the pig. It was half human hand and half pig coming out.
Cloven hoof.
Yes, exactly, and it looked really cool. And then you just see it like a split second in the film. I was like, oh, there's my. Yeah, I was like, oh, there's my arm.
Steve Wang was telling me how bad he felt when he saw Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah,
he did this amazing, elaborate bat demon.
Oh.
And he said it's in there for like 8 seconds, but I know that he was very proud that DC Comics gave it its own action figure.
On Dawn of Justice. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, but it's cut almost to
nothing.
nothing.
Parademon?
No. Remember when he goes to the grave of his parents?
Yes.
And a bat monster sort of leaps out as a cheap.
Oh, okay. Yes, now I remember. Yes, you're talking
about. It was
about.
all CG.
Yeah.
And he said it had more. Yeah, because it was a physical effect, and they CG'd the hell out of it. Yeah. And he was like, "That was hours of designing and work, and you barely see it."
Yeah. What sucks is that what's called Ironhead Studios. They did all the costumes for Batman and Wonder Woman, and they get no credit in the film.
And that breaks my heart. I mean, when you look at I thought the Affleck Batman with the brass knuckles built into the gloves,
and also
the ass kicker steel toe boots were great. Yeah, that's a Zack Snyder Batman, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Ironhead, they put out they 3D their parts and then they mold it if it has to be flexible and then they do the body work.
The materials they use is just amazing.
They were the first ones to make Batman's head turn without disattaching the cowl.
Yeah. This is true. And they did the short-eared Batman, which I really respected.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I would say hands down the Ben Affleck Batman suit is my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, that's remember at Monster Palooza they have the 6-foot statue and the boot.
Yeah, that's Ironhead Studios.
Very well. I mean, the leather wrapped boots and the gloves, how they wrapped around.
Yeah, it was like a kind of like a glove, like a boxing glove in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of like it looked like he was there to kick ass.
Yeah, it would protect his hand and hurt the other guy.
Where there's blade. I mean, even if it had sharp areas, because it
looked like a regular glove, and then the gauntlet went over it, just attached around the thumb. That was great.
I felt bad because some girl was talking to the Ironhead guys when they came to the booth, and she goes, "Oh, you did recreations of the guys' work from..." And I just watched this clerk go all kinds of purple. He goes, "No, it was our work. They just never credited us."
Yeah.
Which is... There's 9 zillion credits on that. The credits take 5 minutes on TBS.
Yeah.
And they didn't give them credit for the costumes.
Yeah, and then they went with somebody totally different for Justice League. That's why even the cowl's like way different than Dawn of Justice.
But it's still, do you know what kind of material they used?
From what I heard, it's different types of, it's just all mathematical. What I was hearing, that they had to break some stuff down in different, I forgot exactly what they put like
sections,
some kind of
like the most movement is
like
more
different,
flexible than what's up.
Yeah, and it was still foam latex, but then they did like some kind of stuff. Some urethane parts here and there and different things. When I heard they said it was all mathematical stuff, I was like, dude, that just blew my mind.
Because you had to use those different densities and blend them all together. And
and the mask looks like when he put on that Batman mask, anybody wearing it would look like they were frowning, which I thought was really cool with that gnarled nose and everything.
Right.
like a permanent scowl.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, since we're in the last 7 minutes, because we go off at 5-2.
And that went by fast.
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys are entertaining, and you beat us to the studio, which is why I brought donuts. Let me ask. The quick question is: your band Nerdbot is playing Toyzilla tomorrow. Why don't you promote that?
Yeah, we're gonna be playing at the Toyzilla. It's gonna be on the main stage side now. They just moved this over, but it's still all part of that area. It's the name is the Expansion Pack, and
It's a toy show and Comic Con tomorrow, and they're playing the band.
We're actually gonna be playing again with. If you saw Anime Pasadena, our band we played with Jason Page, which is the original singer of the Pokemon theme song. So we're gonna be recreating that again there because he wants to go up and do that. So we're all right. We're gonna play the Pokemon theme song again.
Well, you can't have that guy there and not have him sing the Pokemon theme song.
Yeah, he actually contacted us to do it again. So I guess he really liked what we did. So he's gonna come up on stage again and do it with us.
I like how Jason is pretending he's not going to do it. I mean, every conversation people stop it for is probably a noun and a verb in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And what do you have coming up, movie effects wise?
I don't have anything, but I know Ivan just finished up one that he just did.
What'd you do, Ivan? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I don't think you can say the name yet.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you can't name it yet. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just got off that one, but then
was that Phantom Zone, or was that Phantom Zone in conjunction with someone else?
Oh, it's
not
Phantom Zone because it was me, Miranda, and Steven. We all worked on. We worked on that.
Yeah, I could hardly do it just because they were working during the week. So Ivan usually knows like if I can't do it, he won't hit me up during the week. But
Yeah,
if it's something on the weekend,
or Friday when I know he's free, like I definitely hit him up. Like, hey, we got this game, man.
all right, let's do it.
I love that.
And then even if we have something that comes up, say, hey, there's this director don't want to do this, like, we'll have him. We'll all come together in a meeting whenever, and we'll break down the script, or we have a meeting with the director too, and says this is what we want, and we all get together and says, okay, we could do this, and that. We just
we all really stay in conjunction with each other.
We all stay very close. It's a good team. I really love this team because we
get along so well.
Yeah,
like,
you hang out on your downtime, which shows a good crew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. We go out to movies. We go see.
Although I've got bad news, Ivan. Since he got here first, he saw Incredibles 2 without you.
Yeah, he was doing his work that day.
Oh, you were working last night too.
Yeah, he just wrapped up yesterday.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I apologize.
The last 2 weeks I was working straight, man.
Wow.
It was a hell of a.
Can't say I'm not jealous because like, damn, I want to be on set so bad.
I know.
I love being on set.
It's cool though because I got an awesome picture of me and the guy playing the monster. Since he's like 6'10", there's a picture of him like grabbing my throat, and I'm looking at him like that, and this guy is just towering.
Kane Hodder style.
Was it SAG?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, good. Then I don't. My feelings are no longer hurt.
It's. I don't think we get. Well, you did the tornado with SAG, right?
Sharknado?
It was,
They had to SAG you. It started out non-union, and then it got so big.
Yeah.
With all the guest stars,
Yeah.
and, you know.
Yeah, it was fun working on that because seeing all the cameos of all these stars. Like I met Frankie Muniz. I was having lunch, and then he just sits across from me, and I'm all like, freaking Malcolm Meadows, like right.
Poor dude. Can you remember him being on Frank Malcolm?
Well, see, this is before he had his
brain injury.
Yeah, that incident. So he was like talking about like Bryan Cranston and all.
Yeah.
Wow, talking smack. No, I'm joking.
Well, since we're all here, man, all of us have to hang out, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're all-
You guys are so close.
Yeah, I'm super close.
That's why I've wanted you guys on for a while.
Yeah, I'm in Ontario. He's in Moreno
Riverside,
Valley.
yeah.
Moval, Riverside, gateway to Moval. If you need meth. By the way, fun fact, since you just mentioned Bryan Cranston, the Vince Gilligan pilot script for Breaking Bad was set in Riverside.
Oh, wow.
I could work there too, Fontana. Whatever.
I think I remember hearing about that, but they didn't want it to be a touristy area or something.
Riverside wouldn't give them tax.
Oh, that's right. They didn't want. Yeah, or they didn't want to look. They
They're
didn't
gonna
want to
make
look
us
bad.
look like the way we really are.
Yeah, they didn't want Riverside to look
There's no
bad.
documentaries. Come on.
Even though you always
It's not all downtown Riverside.
you walk through like
You gotta go on the.
you get away from the college, and the AMPM Mini Mart clerks have teeth like Indian corn from doing meth. You know, and
God, they all look like truck drivers, like Popeye's older sister.
Oh, wow.
they're pale with the black circles around their eyes because they're all mething out.
Yeah. You have those crack goblins just like.
Oh yeah.
And
what you want?
Hey, we do have to group up at Tio's Tacos with all the smokes.
Yes.
Oh, I like that place. That place is
bring this
good.
guy.
He took me there, and I was like, this place is
Oh
good.
I
man,
love it there.
just burritos back there, man.
I'm one of you guys. One of my high holy days is Taco Tuesday at Del Taco.
That's you got to
Pretty
get
taco.
out of that ghetto. We're gonna take you to the real one where it's
Yeah.
really good.
Take it to
tacos.
Tio's, man. Watch look at some crazy art, and have some.
I like
fun.
that.
Yeah, and some good beers and margaritas.
Yeah.
Now, for any potential producers or anything else listening who wants to elicit the works of Phantom Zone Effects, boys,
Yeah.
pimp away.
Go ahead.
We are Phantom Zone Effects. We do everything from
EFX. You know, Phantom
2
Zone,
minutes.
it's effects, but EFX, so
Yeah,
you get the logo
EFX.
right.
FX.
Yeah.
EFX, yes.
EFX.
We do everything from character makeups, monsters, even giant prop designs. Anything we can do it.
Yeah.
We have no limit.
And then you could also catch me on Facebook on Nerdbot doing our Flatline TV horror talk. You were just on there.
I
Great show,
posted
thank you.
that. I
Yeah,
loved
thank
it,
you.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I had a great time.
Yeah, so we do. I keep everything horror. I love horror.
Hey, tell Jeff thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Not my Jeff, but that Jeff. I spat coffee when I fired up in the morning before I was on, I fired up in the morning before I had to do a couple of magazine interviews in LA for the magazine. And
Hurry up, we got 1 minute.
When I saw the Castle Man shot, it made me spit coffee. Okay, go
That's
ahead.
funny too.
Yeah,
What-
you can look us up Instagram, Phantom Zone Effects, Facebook, Phantom Zone Effects. Just
Latino underscore Joker, I Monster.
Latino underscore
You can, find me
Joker.
on, you can also find me on Instagram, iMonster13.
Yeah.
And yeah.
30 seconds to go. Carlos and Ivan, we love you guys. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you next Wednesday
Awesome.
on the Jeff and Janky Show.
Woo! Boys,
All
nicely
right.
done. Nicely done. Wow. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Great. Kill the feed so we can talk normal.